Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Critical critique.
You sound
Yes,
sick,
we are.
Nretsew.
We are consuming critically today. Are you ready to consume critically today, Elliot?
You sound sick, Nretsew.
Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on. My nose is a little runny, so if I'm sniffly today, that's
It should be getting warm over there, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Maybe it's just I think maybe there's pollen in the air or something. Who knows? Who knows? Who fucking knows? But what I do know is at least I'm not poor. Because I spent 8 years making the Concords, Ellie. I didn't
Yeah. Or you aren't
Husbando.
losing.
Husbando. We are homeless. You made Concord.
You didn't spend $100 million at the minimum for 12 days of game.
Yeah. Yeah. Today's video is very, very topical, even though it's an older video. Before it's like a predictive video.
People have been saying it for quite a while. Yeah, it's like
yeah. Well, I've been saying it for quite a while. I've always been talking about how I think that there's going to be a breaking point, and I don't know if Concord's going to be that breaking point, but I have a sneaking feeling that something's probably gonna happen.
well, Nretsew,
but then again,
I have a feeling it's kind of already broken because there are these small details, right? Like for Concord specifically, to play Concord, you need to be in the expensive online tier kind of deal, right? Then there was an open beta where you got the game to try for free. Hey, play fans, hype new game, and less people wanted to play. Less people played it than the people who paid to play it early.
Well, I mean, as the meme that's been going around goes, nothing ever happens. So, place your bets, boys. Nothing ever happens.
There's another detail, right? Retailers have been getting more copies of Astro Boy to sell than Concord.
I've been hearing that the Astro bot, it's like Astro something bot or whatever. I've been hearing that's. I don't actually know what the gameplay of that is, but I keep hearing that it's good from people. I saw a little. They had a cute little. There was what was it, Maria from Bloodborne?
Mm-hmm.
Little bot, and she's in the chair and she's falling asleep. It's quite cute. I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah, Astrobot has like dozens of character costumes.
Little references to
although
all kinds
Nretsew,
of video
it is completely unfair, right? But comparing celebration of your platform brand, it's not Smash.
No, I mean,
it is a very unfair comparison but Smash is a much more comprehensive celebration of the brand and the platform and the games
of the video games.
Yeah.
The video games. But I don't know, because it's I mean because we don't know what the video is going to be necessarily getting into in terms of the overall generalized.
I checked the beginning portions, and it was on how games are too long, and good jumping off point for a bunch of stuff.
It is actually, because that's what I mean. It's been very topical lately. Very topical. The whole what the fuck's going on with with the AAA sphere.
Yeah, just to start off already. I do believe that Concord is a turning point because the point has been turning for quite a while. Live service has been getting a bad name. There's been kind of commercial or not commercial, like promotional material. Like, we are not a live service game kind of deal.
Well, I've been looking into Concord. I looked into it a little bit, right? So it's 8 years in development, right? So
kind of
2016. So 2016. What came out in 2016?
Overwatch.
What do you think came? Yeah, Overwatch came. So what I think happened, right? because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's the woke DEI design stuff," and while I do think that is part of it, because I think it not having attractive characters is definitely an issue, right? I think the bigger issue is that they saw what happened with Overwatch in 2016, right? And they thought, "Hey, let me copy your homework, but let me let me change it just so like let's copy the homework of Overwatch," not realizing that 8 years later, like what happened to Overwatch in those 8 years, Ellie, right? Like
Yeah.
it started off good, right? Big success, a lot of money, a lot of porn, right? It was good, right? It was great. Then what happened? Overwatch 2 happened, right?
So I do have a small correction, Nretsew. You say they started Concord 8 years ago. That's not entirely true.
That's what everyone says. Everyone says it was
but
like 8 years.
the small correction I want to, they had the idea of Concord 8 years ago. They started making the game 6 years ago.
All right. Well, I mean,
some design, some
two years for design work, right? Like just 2 years to try and figure it out, right? So,
and
yes, Overwatch 2 happened, right?
A fun small detail number 2. They got bought by Sony 1 year ago.
Right. Yes, you have to defend Sony, okay? I know you're a big Sony fan,
I'm so much a Sony fan. You completely...
Sony pony, right? Sony pony. Fuck Xbox, right? Xbox
fuck Nintendo. I know what PC
fuck
games,
Nintendo.
what PC
Hate
games.
Nintendo. Who cares? Fire Emblem. Fuck Fire.
Zelda, whatever. God of War. That's the only game.
Who cares? But ideas still count, Ellie, apparently, according to 5.0. So I'm gonna keep saying 8 years. But let's Overwatch happens, but they don't realize, like, because isn't Overwatch free to play right now? Didn't they switch to free to play in Overwatch, right? So I think what happened was they came up with the idea, right, 8 years ago to be like copy Overwatch's homework, not realizing that 8 years later the industry's landscape is significantly not the same as what it was in 2016, right? Very fucking different now. So they come out with this like premium, hero shooter that is basically, I didn't actually see a lot of gameplay from it, to be fair, but it sounded like it was very Overwatch.
People would tell me it's like it's Destiny. It's Destiny. Shooting is Destiny.
Right. But this is the problem, right? Is you can't, like, they were creating a game for a environment that no longer exists, right? It doesn't exist. Like that same kind of hype. And there was more than just like the like Overwatch blew up back in 2016. More, I mean, obviously because of the porn, obviously, but it was more so because, like, one, it's Blizzard, right? And this was before Blizzard was like fucking trash, right? So and it was something that was like, Overwatch was in development for quite a while as well, because it had gone through a few iterations of it was initially going to be an MMO.
And it got kind of stripped down until there's only
it got stripped down into the hero shooter, right? So they had like big plans for Overwatch, right? I do think that the fact that the characters in Overwatch are relatively, like, not just attractive but stylized, right? Like Overwatch has a very particular style to it.
Yeah, the thing
which is something I think Concord was trying to do, because I've seen, like, because Concord to me screams like 70s, 80s sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
Like they're trying to go for that, like, Flash Gordon, big circular helmets, cylindery robot looking thing. But the problem is they went hyper realistic with it.
Yeah, you can't do that.
They didn't. They didn't stylize it enough, right? They didn't add enough style.
They went over the top and crazy without any style.
Yeah, and it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good, right? It looks bad, and that's like, I don't think that's like it's like a DEI, fucking representation type thing. I don't think it's that. I think it's just the hyper realism filter, right? Just having to have the game look hyper realistic is what kind of fucking killed it, right?
I have absorbed some gaming podcasts and other whatevers.
You've consumed some gaming
I
media,
listened
yeah.
to them on the bus to the way to the Nice and back. So a couple things, right? Concord got a gameplay idea that's outdated by the time it came out. That's true. They started development and spent a lot of time. I think kind of a couple of things. This game was originally a service game.
Mm.
But then, like 3 years ago, service game were getting a really bad rap. So
Yeah.
so over a year ago, they switched out to be just a normal game.
Which was not a good idea.
Well, yeah, but and kind of a secondary part is that at some point they went super realistic. And I think there's a kind of a reason for that. And the reason is that they were in the negotiations to be bought by Sony. Because Sony is...
and Sony has like the hyper realistic Sony Last of Us experience type style is very big.
My big brain theory right here is that Concord was stylized in the beginning. And when they were getting bought by Sony, when there was negotiations, they switched out their stylized characters for super realistic. And they went way harder on fanciness. And
yeah, I could kind of believe that. Considering it's like
because even before Concord was bought by Sony, Sony was paying for Concord.
Yeah.
Right. So it was already kind of, built to be a kind of like Sony, and Sony just bought them outright at some point. So somewhere they had stylized characters, and when it became a Sony product first and foremost and exclusively, they went all realistic, hyper realistic all the way.
They probably wanted it to fit the Sony aesthetic, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yeah, and there's like kind of hints of that there's a lot of money put into those animations, in those vignettes.
Yeah, I've seen some of the animations from the character select screen and stuff, and it's not like it doesn't look bad.
No, I meant the small episodes they put out.
Oh, I didn't watch any of that, no. But I watched but I mean like the in-game animations. Like I was seeing like the character select screen and how the characters move, right? But the problem is because it was on like that hyper realistic look, it just kind of, at the end of the day, right? I just think it doesn't work, right?
No,
because I get what they're trying to go for, but because it's like it's not, realism's gay. I agree with Samu. Realism's gay. Fuck realism. We need more stylized stuff. We need more Overwatch style. Because Overwatch is stylized, right? So we need more. Let's have
just for they released.
We need more Senran Kagura's. Damn right, Gouda. damn right.
They released kind of episodes of kind of character vignettes showing off the characters, their personality, what they're kind of about, in super high quality, model accurate animations thing going on, super expensive CG things.
It's gonna be in that Amazon show as well.
Yeah, which I don't think it will be, kind of, because how would
you
ever?
I mean, they're either going to scrap that episode, or I think they'll have it in the episode. I don't know.
Yeah, so I do believe that this was meant to be a big Sony game, right? A big exclusive Sony shooter.
Yeah,
but
I think the issue is, I feel like anyone with half a brain cell could see this coming from like a mile away.
Yeah, but
right?
you know who? But the guy who was responsible for this is gone. Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan.
See, you put a lot of stock in Jim Ryan being like the only
opposite
issue.
really.
The only man at Sony that's the issue. No one else. Sony is just a pure innocent boy, and Jim Ryan is the evil.
Well, Nretsew,
evil
there are
man.
a couple of things, right? Jim Ryan said old games suck, and the PlayStation 5 doesn't have backwards compatibility.
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
Yeah. And he said live service games rules, and he had like 12 in production at the same time.
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
Yeah. And now if you go, and then there's Concord, which is a former live service game. Don't convince me otherwise. You can't. And it's still it is a massive money pit. That's a stupid decision. That sounds very much like a Jim Ryan thing to do. So
well, imagine nuking the Japan studio for Concord. Oh God. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, they closed studios to fund Concord. That's a sad thing. Because
well, here's the funniest thing about that, right? Is, I mean, Bloodborne, right? I believe Bloodborne was both FromSoft and Japan Studio worked on that, right? And you've got Concord, right, being this massive dumpster fire, trash fire, right? Just complete fucking failure. And then you look over at the Bloodborne autists, right? The Bloodborne fans are like waiting for Bloodborne on PC for so long, they've decided, fuck it, we'll just do it ourselves.
The compilation, whatever it is.
Yeah, we will literally fucking pioneer PS4 emulation just to get Bloodborne on PC. We'll literally fucking just do it ourselves. And they've been making some crazy progress on that. I've been seeing some videos from it. It's still not 100% there yet, but they're getting pretty close. They're
yeah, but Nretsew
can't wait for the DMCA to happen.
Oh well, I do have hope for. I do think Sony will get through over this, right? Jim Ryan is gone. There are some Japanese guys back. The Astrobot is a success. Concord is a massive failure.
I mean, look, in case of emergency, break Bloodborne glass. That's
Nretsew, have you heard?
That's literally all they have to do. I'm gonna be real, because if they put Bloodborne out on PC, they will. It's like the money is right fucking there. You will make millions. You will make the money back on Concord if you put fucking
Nretsew, have you heard
Bloodborne on PC.
Have you heard what Phil Spencer's up to these days?
Oh, he's growth. Big growth.
Well, Nretsew, he had an interview where he said he's stupid and makes dumb decisions. Phil Spencer, we know, Phil Spencer said no to Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact sucks. Get away from Xbox.
Oh yeah, I feel I did see a clip about this where he's like, man, that was a fumble.
Also, Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Get away.
That's another one.
None. Get away. Marvel sucks. Get away, Spider-Man.
Maybe he needs to not be in the room when these decisions happen.
Also, Nretsew, Guitar Hero. Get away.
Yeah. Oh.
Get out.
Oh. Oh no.
And there's like another game which is huge and big and made billions of dollars, and I forgot exactly, but
he's like, no.
There is, and you can make an analysis on this, Nretsew. There is a way to calculate how much money Phil Spencer cost Microsoft in all those deals he dismissed. Like $3 billion of wrong decisions. Minimum. All the money Xbox could have made with Guitar Hero, with Genshin, with etc. You can calculate the costs of not doing that. Phil Spencer cost. Also, of course, Game Pass not sustainable. It's going to die. It's inevitable.
It's always dying.
And also the whole drama. You have got the drama, right, Nretsew, where this Italian Souls-like game. Have you heard?
What the Italian?
It's kind of an
Souls-like
Souls-like with an Italian vibe. And it's coming
saw
out
that.
on Xbox and PC and
Oh,
Sony.
yeah. I think I vaguely recall.
So the release date is like in a few weeks. And there was a big update from hello everybody, game is almost out except Xbox because Xbox doesn't email, doesn't reply to us at all. We have a build ready for submission. They haven't responded in 2 months. We cannot tell you when the Xbox version is out because we have no contact with them at all, despite us repeatedly asking. That tells me, Nretsew, that they are firing people in Xbox. That they are slowly gutting Xbox. If they can't,
which is leading to some problems because I've been seeing devs talking about the absolute fucking state of trying to fucking get a game on Xbox.
Yeah, this is what happened with the Italian Souls-like, but also Nretsew, the Capcom Fighting Collection games were announced on the Nintendo Direct. Were also announced to be on PC and PlayStation, but not on Xbox.
I heard Wukong was the reason that's not on Xbox is apparently got more to do with the fact that they had a RAM issue. Wukong had like a memory leak and they weren't passing the bug quality assurance tests.
It looks to be
that was something I heard.
It looks to be like that it's a kind of a small exclusivity deal, but not a marketing deal with Sony.
I don't know because I saw
it's a non-disclosed deal, so it's kind of iffy. But it looks to be
yeah. I mean both.
Yeah,
knows?
But
who fucking knows?
There's so much fun details in Nretsew. Nretsew, did you know that the Xbox the Series S, right, is the low power one?
Yeah, the low one. Yeah.
When it was all code names, right? The X and S had code names. Reports came out that that Xbox was working on 2 consoles, and developers hated one console. Absolutely hated it.
As you do, yeah.
So when Xbox came out and say, "Hey, here's the Series X," and the question came then, "Wait, weren't you making 2 consoles? You said you're making 2 consoles. Where's the second one?" And it was quiet again. And then, like 2 months before, and then devs were happily making games, etc., and suddenly, "Hey, everybody, here's the S, the thing we internally cancelled, but Phil Spencer decided to revive again." You know what console those developers hated, Nretsew?
It was the S, wasn't
it? It was they hated the S absolutely.
Oh no!
Phil Spencer decided to revive a console that the developers hated making games for. You know what happened, Nretsew? Some developers stopped making games for Xbox.
As yeah, bad decisions. So let's hear about bad decisions then. Let's get to the video. Let's hear about. So games take too long. They take too long to make, which I agree with. I do agree. I think part of the problem is, this is my kind of prediction for the video, right? My problem is they announce games too early, right? Like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, let's announce the new like I don't mind if it's like, oh yeah, we are actually working on it, like it is a thing we're working on, right? But to have like the big show, right, where look, it's the logo on the mountains and the big E3 big thing to do it. Basically, don't fucking announce your game at E3 unless it's literally like a year or 2 away, right?
So what the Nintendo does, right, is kind of announce the game is existing like a year in advance.
Yeah, it exists.
Then be quiet for half a year or so, and when it's
then bring it out again. Yeah.
And then it's 3 months before release, kinda. They do a direct and say, "Hey, the game. Here's gameplay. Here's whatever." And then every week they release like a new video, a new trailer. Because
but it's like, but it's like with with fucking Skyrim and whatnot, right? It's like, oh, how long ago was that? Like 9 years.
yeah, no, that
It's
wasn't
like 9
real.
years ago, and
That
it's been absolute radio fucking silence, right? Over those 8 years. No trailers, no information, no whatever, right? And this isn't the first time I've had this kind of happen, right? Like, where they'll announce something at E3, and it's like, ah, shit. That looks cool. When am I going to be able to buy it? In 10 years?
yeah, but
All right.
I
Probably going to be even longer than that because I'll just not buy it and wait for it to go on sale and then pick it up for like $2.50. So
yeah, no, I excuse Nintendo for doing the Metroid Prime because that got restarted, right?
oh yeah, I heard that had a bit of a rocky.
That had a very
Dev
rocky
cycle,
start,
yeah.
so they really only from this year onward they had like 6 years of development, and that's kind of iffy because they had to, restart development, see if they can try again, and then scrap everything and try actually again.
The point is, I don't. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not sure if the issue is like, oh, games are literally taking too long to physically make, as much as they need to stop announcing games too early, right?
I do think there's a problem.
That's kind of the question.
There's a kind of a problem with trying to make it too realistic. That takes time. That takes a lot of time.
I think that's the other thing too. I think that there's too much of a focus on hyper-realism.
So you've seen trailers for the new Zelda game, right? The actual Zelda game.
Yeah.
How does it look like it would take 10 years to make?
No.
Does it maybe use even assets from the previous Zelda game that was stopped down?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah. Maybe it does. But anywho, I don't know if Samu's still in the chat, but let me get this right up to the mic. Yeah, just go.
He's still on screen in the chat since I changed
He's still on screen in the chat. He still exists.
There he is.
I fucking needed that. But anyway, right. Let's get into it. Let's hear about how games take too long to make. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tony for...
All you ever do is complain.
Tony for you. Today I want to vent a little bit about gaming. Specifically, a problem I've been thinking about a lot. Why on earth does it take games so long to release? And not even mentioning the question of why does it seem like when games do release, they aren't even close to ready. Let's tackle one problem at a time. It seems like every single game that comes out has been in the making for at least 5 years. Redfall took 5 years to make. Starfield took 7 years to make. Diablo 4 took 6 years to make. What do all these games have in common? Heaps and heaps of controversy. The quality of these games can be debated. I didn't particularly...
Small pause, Nretsew. Controversy is not, I think, a real metric you should go by, right?
I think the metric you should go by is the game shit or not? And
yeah.
I think what he's doing is he's using controversy as like a shorthand for was the game shit.
Were there bugs? Was it good? Was it balanced?
Because Starfield, there was the whole pronouns thing with Starfield.
Was there?
That was.
It's your
well,
Twitter.
Yeah, that was the meme. You remember the bald guy, the fucking pronouns guy? You don't remember the fucking pronouns guy?
No.
Yeah, well, the internet isn't real to you, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of that, but like it was that plus the fact the game was shit, right? And
boring,
the game was
but I
like
kind of more heard. It was
yeah. It's like because I've watched a few long video essays on the topic now, so I'm qualified to talk about Starfield despite never playing it. Right? It's like what happened with Starfield was they bit too much than they could chew, and they went for they tried to do this really high concept alternate realities, different versions of yourself, big space multiverse, little changes between universes every time. Like the big spoiler for Starfield is every time you finish the game, you reset you go to a different universe, right?
Yeah.
So you reset the game in New Game Plus, and you go to a different version of the universe. And each time you do that, there's like changes that happen. Some characters will be different. There's like one universe where all of the people are kids. There's one universe where they all get killed by another version of you who's evil before you get there. There's another universe, like all these different universes as you reset. And it sounds like it sounds kind of cool, but it's half-baked, right?
Yeah,
And that's the real problem with it, right? They tried to tackle a concept that I think they really shouldn't have done, because this is going to be me ranting about Starfield and why it's shit compared to Skyrim, right? Because like with Skyrim, right? Skyrim is relatively simple, right? It's, hey, you are citizen of Tamriel, right? You are about to get your head cut off, right? Oh no, dragons have returned. The dragons have returned. Oh no, right? And then you find out, oh, you are the mystical dragonborn person thing. Go kill dragons, save the world, right? It's simple, right? And you can superimpose a lot of your own kind of like story onto that, right? Because you have all the side quests, you can decide what you want to do. Oh, maybe I don't give a fuck about that, I'll go join the Dark Brotherhood. Oh, I don't give a fuck about that, I'll go be a mage at the Mage Guild or whatever, right? Like, you don't necessarily have to, you can fuck around in Skyrim and it doesn't particularly matter, right? And you can kind of do that in Starfield too, but Starfield is like if Skyrim is like the ocean with the depth of a paddling pool, Starfield is like the universe with the depth of a paddling pool, right? And I think that makes it worse, right? Redfall, we all know the story of Redfall, right? It was, even the devs didn't want to fucking release Redfall.
Yeah.
That was a whole other story, and I don't know anything about Diablo, so.
Diablo, from what I remember, was just the end game was bad. That's kind of the basic gist. And some people didn't like the story structure. Like, it's one world, you didn't get much variation in where you could go.
Right.
Every basement, it was a dungeon. Nretsew, I have a basement, and if I open the door to the basement, it's an entire dungeon. How do they ever afford all that floor space?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm reading the chat. Yeah, 5-0. It is an interesting concept. It's just it's like, I have to remember from watching like these videos on it, like the storyline around it, because the whole thing is like, oh, you're mining in this like mine colony or whatever. You're part of this like mining expedition team, and you find like the artifact, and the artifact gives you your special space magic powers, right? And it makes you see all the oh, we found the artifact. Now we've got to find the rest of the artifacts. And the rest of the game is you have to find the rest of the artifacts. And then you find the rest of the artifacts. And the big plot twist is you are the Star Child, mystical fucking time dimensional hopper thing, and the relic. There's like relics in every other universe, and all the other versions of you are trying to get all of the relics in all the other universes. And so it becomes this fucking complicated. It becomes this complicated thing. But it does sound cool. Like, I'm making it sound cooler than it is the problem, right? Like, it sounds cool. It's one of those things that sounds cool when you describe it, but when you actually like get into like Starfield's plot and shit, it's fucking dumb.
There's a small problem. Is that why would I care for the other people? Are they actively attacking this universe? Are they destroying this universe?
Yes, yeah. Well, kind of. There's like there's like a group of enemies that is implied to be like yous from other universes that just kind of shows up. It's like the collective of you. It's fucking Rick and Morty shit, where it's like, oh, there's like the Rick and Morty. If you've ever watched Rick and Morty, there's like the collective of Ricks or whatever, where it's like all the different Ricks from all the different universes are like on the space station or whatever. It's kind of like that. And the scope is too big is the problem. They should have like honed it down a little bit, right?
I mean,
and made it
Cyberpunk
kind of
has one city, and you can spend hours in one city. And from what I understand, you have all of 5 minutes, and you've seen an entire planet in Starfield.
Yeah. But anyway, enough shitting on Starfield. Let's get back to Video Man. Let's see what he's got to say.
I didn't particularly like any of the above games. In fact, I really only played Diablo 4, and even then only for a couple hours. But the point isn't really the quality. The point isn't even really whether or not they succeeded financially. It's that most games take way too long, and by proxy have way too much money dumped into them. Starfield, for example, took 7 years to make and was financially successful. Forspoken was in development for at least a few years before 2020, so let's just say 5 to 6 years, and it was...
Wasn't Forspoken like part of, because I'm trying to remember, because like Square Enix had that like tech demo for their engine or whatever.
Yeah, I remember this part.
And wasn't Forspoken...
Play a little bit longer than it too.
Oh, okay.
Such a flop, the company behind it dissolved.
Gaming can't afford...
I know the company behind it dissolved, but I'm trying to remember because it was like...
So no, I remember the story, right? Forspoken was kind of the Lumen Studio, right? And the Lumen Studio were the managers of the Lumen engine. Problem is, nobody used the Lumen engine. Not even Square Enix themselves didn't use the Lumen engine. So Forspoken was kind of a maybe not. This is kind of a more real speculation. Forspoken may be a kind of a tech demo of please let us use this Lumen engine still. Let us keep.
It's just because I thought that it was tied because there was like a tech demo that Square did like fucking ages ago. That was I thought was the Lumen engine. So I don't know.
Yeah, but
who knows?
But yeah, Forspoken was made with the Lumen engine, same as Final Fantasy 15, I believe. It was very doubtful that the Forspoken 2 would be made with the Lumen engine. It would be, and of course, whenever the end Lumen engine is way too expensive. They are the only ones who are using it. This is the studio who has all the knowledge of using it and manage the rights of the engine and gives support out to other studios who use the Lumen engine, which there are none of. So,
right.
This studio would have been closing even if Forspoken was a massive success. That's kind of the
probably. But anyhow, let's continue.
To be putting all their eggs in one basket anymore. And for every Starfield, there will be a Forspoken, and for every Diablo 4, there will be a Payday 3. And I don't like any of those games at all. After thinking about this a lot, what really pushed me over the edge of making this video is this simple fact. Did you know that between 1997 and 2001, which is a 5-year span, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10 came out? Did you also know that between 2017 and 2023, which is a 7-year span, Final Fantasy 16 came out? 1 game in 7 years, as opposed to 4 in 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so hang on, I might just make sure
a frame or two back.
Yeah, because it's transparent. There we go. Go away. Recommended videos. So anyhow, I see a problem with this. Do you see a problem with this?
It's not on the same time length. They should.
Well, my problem with this is like
also
well, I don't care about that, but my problem with this is right. Okay, so so you got 3 years for Final Fantasy 7, right? 8, and then 9 and 10, right? I feel I think it kind of comes back down to the realism angle, and I don't know. Something about this feels wrong to me. I'm getting a bad vibe.
So the realism thing is a big factor, but I think it also is a bit of because isn't it? I get the feeling
because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the development of whatever the new one is. Fucking 16, 17.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck they're at yet. 25, Final Fantasy 25. I don't fucking know, but I don't know anything about the development of that. So
I believe that all of these games except Final Fantasy X use pre-rendered backgrounds, right? So
yeah,
that saves a lot of time. Models quality.
Yeah, it was different.
As high.
It was different techniques and different style of the time to do the games. Different engines probably as well.
Yeah, I do think it's more, and also stuff like voice acting, right? How much faster is it to write something than to have it voice acted?
Yeah, quite, and less expensive too. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just.
So I don't know. Considering the first, I don't know. Because it's an interesting example because I know more about what was it the boys one. Is that 15? I think that's 15. The one where it's the boys in the car, right? Because that one had like a really rocky develop. That one was like it changed concept like 5 times or something in development. Because it started out as like a offshoot of 13, I think, or something. Like it started off as
maybe
it's going to be.
I can get that feeling.
Yeah, no, it's. I very much remember there was like I can't remember what it was called. It was going to be called something else, and it was going to be like a side shoot of 13 or 14. And 13, yeah, because 14's the MMO, so it would have been 13. Yeah, it was going to be like a side game of. In the universe of 13, right? But of different characters, right? And then they scrapped everything and started from scratch again. And then they scrapped everything and started from scratch again.
Yeah, so
and then that's how we got the boys on their road trip. So they fucking I recall it was something like that. So that one taking fucking 10 years to make, understandable. Because they technically didn't make it twice, right? They didn't make it twice.
No, if a game
but with this one, I don't know. But with the new one, I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, versus 13. Yeah. 5-0 knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I believe
story.
it was going to be called Versus 13, and then I think they scrapped that idea and made that into 15, right? And that ended up becoming what 15 was.
Yeah, I'm not going to count really restarting development as still.
Yeah,
being
the
part
only reason
of
I bring that up is that one I can at least understand the long time. I don't know anything about the dev cycle of the new one, the 7-year one. I don't know why it would take that long, but yeah.
Yeah, there is a problem with games being too graphically intense, too much background, too much.
I agree. I agree. I think there's been an overall overemphasis on the graphics, and that kind of is a big problem. Not enough emphasis on frame rate and optimizing for the hardware that you're actually going to be releasing on, right? Because this might be a bit of a hot take, but I don't see any particular reason why games can't run at 60 FPS on a fucking Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5. I see absolutely no fucking reason why a game is locked at 30 FPS on those consoles. Because those consoles are not bad hardware. They're good hardware.
Well, except
it's
the
pretty.
Xbox S.
Well, the S is its own fucking problem, right?
Yeah.
But who cares, right? I know you just want to bash on Xbox, Ellie.
Yeah, I'm a total Sony defender and an Xbox
total hater. You just want to be a hater. I know. But let's just calm down for a minute, right? The actual hardware, because I know the hardware in those consoles, right? The hardware in those consoles is actually really good, right? But the problem is the developers and I think maybe not developers, but probably the execs, right? All roads lead to PC. Yeah, you're not wrong, Guda. But I mean, that's what I mean. The new consoles are basically just PCs, right? They're using the same they're using AMD fucking hardware, right? At this point, they're not using custom built shit anymore.
Well,
right? So it's kind of
from what all reports and not all reports, from reports, it kind of looks like that the new Switch is going to have some custom hardware to help with some
I think
small.
it's custom hardware, but I still think it's AMD, isn't it? Like it's still like
Yeah,
AMD's
but there's
making the
some
chip
like
for them.
on-chip performance increasing things, and all consoles have some, so it's not like you can actually.
Yeah, because Gouda's, yeah, right now it's an ARM-based NVIDIA thing, but I think they're switching to AMD for the Switch too. I can't remember. Because apparently the new AMD chips are really good for consoles. But my point is, the point I'm trying to make is, right, these consoles are not lacking power or RAM or hardware, right? The issue is you've got these execs and you've got these devs, right? Like, I don't want to pin it on the devs because I don't actually think it's like the ground level devs' fault, right? I think it's more the designers and the execs pushing the GROOOOTHICS, right? We need to have everything be super high fidelity, lots of particle effects, hyper realism. I need to be able to see the pores on Horizon Zero Dawn girl's face when I zoom in or whatever, right? Great, right? And I don't think most end users actually give a shit about it.
No, I mean,
I don't.
Astrobot
I got
isn't.
into an argument with someone, I think, on a Discord server about this one time, where he was like trying to like argue that, oh no, people totally care about the GROOOOTHICS and whatever, and I'm like, do you think people actually fucking give a fuck about Red Dead Redemption 2 horseball physics? Do you really think there's that one guy out there who would not buy Red Dead Redemption 2 because the horse balls, Ellie. They don't.
Nretsew,
I can't see every wrinkle on the horse balls. What 0 out of 10?
I kind of feel
Trash.
like this might be a wrong feeling. I've been out of. I haven't played really a GTA game in a very long time. Not been really interested in GTA games for a very long time. I don't know if this new GTA game will be such a success. It will erase all the billions of dollars that went into making it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fucking like it's either gonna be. Yeah, his name's Vosh. Yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was good. Hang on, because I want to do a quick search here.
Also, if you're going to search, at least I'm searching for my own. One reason, Nretsew, one thing you should keep in mind is easy to forget. There was COVID.
Yeah, COVID has
in the middle of in that Final Fantasy development time. There was like 2 years of hardcore COVID. So
yeah,
Final Fantasy 16...
So to kind of put things into perspective, because I did this with the guy I was arguing with, was I went onto you can go to the Steam hardware survey, right, for PC players, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go on the Steam hardware survey, and they actually just put out August 2024 Steam hardware survey. So we've got up to date.
Where was it again? In...
Oh, you just type in Steam hardware survey into Google and you can bring it up.
So you could look it up somewhere in Steam.
Yeah. Or I mean, if you want to bring it up, you can bring it up. But I've got it up on my screen. I'll just read it. Right. So as of August 2024, the most used operating system is obviously Windows 11, which has gone up by about 3%, which is not surprising. It's not surprising because Windows 10 is going to be sunset, right? So everyone's probably switching over. And I've heard that there was some pretty good performance gains on Windows 11 recently with the last updates. So Windows 11's getting better. Fuck Microsoft though. System RAM is about 16 gigs. So most people are on 16 gigs of RAM. It's like 47%, and that's up by 1.3% from last month. Intel CPU speeds are around 2.3. I'm actually really interested in that. It's like 2.3 to 2.9 gigahertz. That's actually like I feel that's really low, especially when most modern CPUs are like fucking in the 3 to 4 hertz range most of the time for their boost clocks. So I feel like that's kind of weird to me that 2.3 to 2.9 is like 2.69 is like the fucking CPU speeds. Physical CPU cores is 6 core, and the real fun one is the graphics card. The most used graphics card right now at 5.36% is the GeForce 3060. Right?
All right.
So
I
so put that into like perspective, right? So like, if the majority of PC gamers, right, are using there it is. Yeah, you've got it up. Everyone's gonna know your Steam. You're gonna get friend requests.
Oh no, the free people.
Oh no. But yeah, so it's the 3060, right? So I would say like, and you also see this in like the display resolution, right? Most people are running at 1080p, right? Majority of people are running 1080p. Multi-monitor people are running at like 1440, but that's that's fine. Yeah. It's like you look at this, right, and the idea that I get from this, right, is most people's rigs that are PC gaming are built around 1080p gaming. They're not playing at fucking 4K to begin with, right? And yet there seems to be this hyper fixation on, we have to make the graphics super good. The graphics have to look so good, and it's like most people aren't gonna be able to fucking run it, right? Most people are gonna turn the graphics down anyway, right?
Or auto.
So
it's going to auto lower it to match the.
Yeah, exactly.
The hell are these settings? No idea. Fake PC.
Yeah,
gamer.
I don't know what other settings are. I think it's just like hardware shit. But yeah. So it is interesting to think about, like, the average like gamer PC, right, is actually pretty low spec, all things considered. Like, my PC is higher spec than this, right? Like I've got even though I've got the 1080 Ti, right, my CPU and GPU and RAM is way higher, right? So yeah, I think that a lot of people put too much. There's too much stock being put into the graphics, because the vast majority of people are not going to be fucking, running things on max. I don't think. That's my intuition, right? And you could argue, the argument this guy used on me was like, oh well, people are just going to turn it down anyway, so why not invest the money into like catering to like the 1% of giga PC owner, dual 10 fucking 40 80 90 500 Ti's,
it will make
right?
the game 4 times more expensive to make.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god. All right, we'll have a look at chat and then we'll move on. Let's have a look. Yeah. To be fair, mid-range 40 series options are... Yeah, that's the other... Well, we could have a whole discussion about NVIDIA being fucking stupid. That's like a fucking whole other conversation. So
NVIDIA is just ballooned by AI. It's a fake thing.
Speaking of Total Biscuit, I don't know if you saw
I saw
the devs
it
of
was
Bolt.
neat.
Yeah, that was so nice of them. That was so cool. I did like his wife, his widow. She was like, yeah, that's real sweet. I knew about this. It's awesome. But the real question is, does it have an FOV slide? No FOV slider. Disappointed.
It is a third-person game. You get away.
I don't think you would. I don't think you would mind too much. But it's good though. It's good. It's fine. But TB was right to push 60 FPS, and I fully. Like, I think 60 FPS should be the bare minimum, right? There are a lot of people that cope and are like, oh, 30 FPS is fine. I can play at 30 FPS. There's no problem with 30 FPS. If 30 FPS is stable, it's like, it's not about that, right? It's not about, oh, I can't tell the difference because I'm a... Right? So,
people can, though.
No. People can, though. Like, I can. I 100% can. I feel that shit.
Alright, so... this is of course my Nintendo isn't the best at hitting 60, but when they can hit 60, they will go for 60.
Yeah, and you can feel it, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't think 30 should not be like the fucking industry standard. It should be 60. Like,
yeah,
and I think
like,
I think most Yeah, and I think most consoles, right, can hit 1080p 60.
Absolutely.
Right? I think most consoles could hit like 1440p 60, right? 4K, you start to get a little bit right? But here's the thing: the first question you have to ask is, if most people on PC are only running 1080p, right? Do you think most people have 4K televisions?
Absolutely
that
not.
are actually 4K and not like fake 4K, right?
No, absolutely not. My big living room TV isn't 4K. It's at, I don't know what resolution it is actually, but it's not 4K. I can tell you.
Nonsense.
I could look it up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I feel like the over pushing on high graphics is a problem. Yeah. Because old peasants holding PC back, yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? That was true back in the day, Gouda. But I actually think it's more parodied now, right? Like I feel like the consoles and the PC are at a much better spot where there's not as much difference between them, both architecturally and in terms of performance, right? Like I think most consoles could hit 10, could manage to actually fucking hit 60 if the games were optimized properly for it. But anyway, we've been waffling on a little bit. We should let we should get back to the video.
I apologize, Nretsew. My TV is actually 4K.
Oh no!
Argument destroyed.
I've been destroyed by facts and logic. No. All right,
but I'm crazy. I spent a lot of money on my new house, and TV was one of them.
All right, let's see what our boys got to say.
4 in 5. This is really not good. Final Fantasy 7, 8, debatably, 9, and 10 are some of the best RPGs ever made. Hell, Final Fantasy 10 is one of my favorite games ever made. Final Fantasy 16, on the other hand, was, well, a game so full of plot holes, unsatisfying narrative, and similarly boring gameplay, I forgot about the game pretty much immediately after finishing it. But hey, at least it looks pretty. Therein lies the problem though. Before anyone gets mad at me and thinks I don't know the obvious, yes, I understand the hardware now is much more difficult and time-consuming to program and model for than hardware of the time. You don't get visuals like these without some serious talent and time put into it. I'll raise you another point to counter that, however. I think Final Fantasy X looks better than Final Fantasy 16. Yes, that's...
Is he going to, oh no,
kind of agree, don't disagree, I guess? I mean...
It has better style or something, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's all about, like... I think something that has been lost in the generational leaps, especially when we look at all these remakes that are coming out, right? All these like, especially like the Resident Evil remakes and whatnot, and all these like higher fidelity remakes, is you lose a lot of like some of the style choices of the time were in fact due to those console hardware limitations, right? They had to cut corners and they had to do things in kind of novel and creative ways to get things to fucking work, right? So I think that you do kind of lose some of that when you have the ability to just slap the game in Unreal Engine 5 and put some lens flares on it, right? It's yeah, I think you do kind of lose a little bit of that sort of feel, I guess. And style of it.
Yeah, it is hard though, because sometimes it's just not. Sometimes people say soul and whatnot, but sometimes it's new, old man. This is the future, don't you?
Yeah, I think it does depend, right? I think it's like in some cases it comes out okay, and then in some cases it's like Demon Souls. The Demon Souls remake is a bit. I don't know if you've seen comparisons.
I know of the cat.
Like, enemies.
The cat is funny, but it's not.
There's like the gesture guy. I think the real travesty for the Demon Souls is like the UI design. The UI looks fucking terrible compared to the old UI. But I've already had my rants about UI. I think I've had a rant in the past about UI design. I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah, but
I think that is a clip that we finally put on put a schedule.
I have scheduled them.
Getting tilted by the zombies and the UI. So I've had that rant will be coming out at some point.
Next week, 12 o'clock, midday for my time zone, and I don't know your time zone.
I don't know. It'll come. Yeah, you'll get. The clips are coming, guys. It's just I've been slowly chipping away at them. It's just Ellie hasn't scheduled them in a while, so which is good because now we have a good backlog. So
yeah,
should be good. This is going to be a 4-hour stream. Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how we go. I mean, we don't have a whole lot, to talk about this.
No, but just for quick, right? New style in a game that you love sometimes means you think it sucks, but sometimes it doesn't suck. It's something you like that's gone now. That's sad.
I think it depends on if it's like I said, if it's like a remake where they are making it like what would be a good example of this?
Well,
I don't know,
what about Zelda Link's Awakening? Because the first one was a top-down GBA, not a Game Boy Color game, right? And the remake is a
hey, Gouda, give us some credit. We are 2 minutes 50. We are 3 minutes into the video. Okay, we are 3 minutes into the video. Don't give us some credit, okay? Anyway, I'm sorry.
So the remake is a puppet. It has everybody as puppets.
Right? Yeah, this is what I mean, right? Like this is what I mean.
It's a radical different style, and if you
It's not just like, oh, we slapped the game. The man remade Mario 64 in the Unreal Engine. Nintendo, hire this man, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that. Like, they actually put real thought and effort into redesigning the style of the game for a modern, system, right? So that's kind of what I mean. There's like two different ways it can go, right? And I feel like if there was more of those kind of, rather than just slapping it I pick on Unreal Engine for this, but it's because it's so easy to tell when a game is made in Unreal because they all fucking look the same now, right? They all look the same. So it's kind of it's one of those things. But anyway,
look at the chat. There's 5-0 who doesn't care for the new for the style. And you mentioned that 5-0 loved the GBA. He would say the soul is gone. And I have no real familiarity, no attachment to the GBA. And I see the remake style, and that's charming. That has soul. It's just saying soul isn't an argument. That's kind of the thing.
All right.
And back to the video. Just because it's older and you like it doesn't mean it is more soulful than the new, fancier looking thing.
All right, let's hear what he's got to say about it.
Insane to say a PlayStation 2 game released in 2001 looks better than a game I played on the PlayStation 5 released in 2023. But it has very little to do with the technical abilities of the hardware and everything to do with the art direction of the games themselves. I may not be able to see each individual hair follicle on the main character's face like I can in 16, but Tidus and Yuna are so unique in design and expressive in animation, I'll never forget them, or the moments they shared. Take a screenshot of almost any city or settlement in Spira or Midgar, and you have something wallpaper-worthy at the very least. Absolutely nothing in Final Fantasy XVI stood out as even kind of interesting, aside from maybe the crystals themselves. Everything is just so brown, bland, and boring. I can't remember a single thing that stood out in all the cutscenes between Jill and,
GTA 6.
Clive. Yeah, that's his name. Sorry, I had to look it up real quick because I forgot. I seriously can't overstate how boring these main characters are. There's also a reason why in discussions of coolest RPG antagonists, Sephiroth is mentioned and not frickin' this guy. His name is Barnabas, by the way. A lot of my problems have to do with the writing, music,
what
and
Final
games.
Fantasy that he came from? 16?
Yeah, I think that's 6.
I
don't play the Final Fantasy.
No, there's kind of a false equivalency going on here. You see, Sephiroth has been in gaming for forever. Everybody knows Sephiroth.
He's iconic, yeah. He's iconic.
And the new villain that just turned up hasn't had the time to develop, if they want to even develop the villain.
Yeah, and I don't. I don't know. I kind of see his point, and I'm not gonna say that I necessarily disagree with him, but because I don't really care about Final Fantasy, it's like I don't really care if you think that the new one's boring compared to the old one, because I don't really have much stake in it. I guess I'll just take your word for it, right? Like, you know,
Say.
I don't.
All right. So
I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of fucking what is it, like leg in the race, right? I don't really have a lot of
all right.
lot of
I found an example in the library of my mind. So Xenoblade
okay.
Chronicles, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar,
Trilogy. First game, end boss, amazing, epic thing going on. Second game, end boss, the final boss itself isn't that interesting, but it recontextualized the first game's final boss, so that makes it kind of cool. Not necessarily the final boss in the game itself, but the final battle makes the final battle in the first game cooler. Third game, the final boss in the third game isn't as interesting of itself, but the whole game is very good. So does it matter that the final boss in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is worse than the other two, when the whole game I can talk at length about? Does it matter that the end boss isn't as memorable in the game? There's
yeah.
I don't know. I've never
Would you rather have the whole game be a solid experience all around than have the game be kind of mid and then the final boss is fucking epic as shit? Right?
Yeah. Also,
It's an
something
interesting
like
question.
I had it on my mind for a second. Damn, it's almost it's fading. It's disappearing, Nretsew.
Oh no! Oh no!
The
The worms!
No, I think I have to let it go. Never mind. Continue, Nretsew.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from. I think there's an interesting question to be had about that. But let's see what Video Man's got to say.
Yeah.
Play as well, but that also brings up another problem. I think every single Final Fantasy game that came out in those 5 years, starting in 1997, is more fun than 516 too. They're not even close to similar in gameplay though, so it's hard to compare. The older Final Fantasy games have turn-based or active time battle combat with semi-linear exploration of a large world. Final Fantasy XVI has a sort of Devil May Cry-esque real-time combat system with pseudo-open-world gameplay. The music is forgettable and the characters are uninteresting at best and downright annoying at worst. While for the previous Final Fantasy games, I can name my favorite track from any of them, and I can't name my favorite character. I just like so many in each of the games. Here are my favorite tracks, by the way. With development times increasing, team sizes increasing, and most importantly, budget increasing, you'd expect the writing quality to go up too. But it seems they only really focused on making the game look pretty and emulating Game of Thrones. Maybe it's just the circles I ran in, but I didn't hear anyone talking about Final Fantasy XVI a couple weeks after it released. At least not anything good. Meanwhile, Final Fantasy VII is getting a 3D remake that everyone seems to love, myself included. It took at least 7 years.
Again. So first off, I remember what the thing I want to say. Everybody says everybody thinks the final boss in Elden Ring sucks. Bad, worst boss of them all.
Okay.
And everybody likes Elden Ring, so that's kind of does it stop people from talking about Elden Ring, Nretsew?
Not really, no.
No. Also, he's kind of, I don't know. He's very delving into kind of his opinion, and
yeah. Like I kind of get he's doing a bit of a old thing good, new thing bad.
Yeah.
Get off my fucking lawn, right? Grandpa type talking, right? I get, right? I kind of get what where he's kind of coming from a little bit, right? Because I think the issue is he's not really going into the topic, right? Because I think there is a conversation to be had about budgets and how writing quality and art style and game performance and all of this stuff hasn't improved at a rate that you would expect it to, despite budgets
But I'm not going to
bloating,
say that
right?
writing quality has to improve as time goes on, because it's one of the
Well,
more...
right, because writing is one of those things where it's very hit and miss depending on
Yeah, I
who's writing.
famously think Fire Emblem Engage story is the worst of Fire Emblem story of them all, and has one of the better gameplays of them all.
Yeah,
So
and you loved Free Houses. So.
Free Houses is a great game all around.
So it's not like you're a hater, right? It's just
No, so stories can get worse while gameplay improves. It's not a or gameplay changes even. So it's not even. Why I don't like his complaints about story as a kind of even decline or stagnation, because it's such it's a super subjective.
I love how we've got 5-0 in the chat. It's just like, I disagree with Ali for everything you say. I mean, I just think it's funny looking at the chat while you.
Hey, I agree. 5-0 agrees with me with the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 boss.
Yeah.
Sansa was indeed cool. The final boss in Xenoblade 3
but
was lame.
I think that the issue is, a lot of this is just like personal opinion stuff, and it's about Final Fantasy, and that's
and even to the point
much of a reference point to, right?
Even to the point of our the disagreement between me and 5-0. What is a good story? It differs from people, from person to person.
Yeah,
I think it was bad. 5-0 thinks it was good.
I mean, I got done reading the most recent Project Neural Cloud story, which was fucking great. So it's like, how do I even begin? It takes place in context. In the Project Neural Cloud, I think it's called the Magasa or whatever server, right? There's all these different sectors, and all the sectors are like different companies like had space in the sector. So there's like an engineering sector, the combat sector. There was one sector that was like for oceanic research or something, and it was like simulation of like an ocean, right? And that kind of thing. There's the one that's the space sector, and the space sector has been closed off for ages, and they've finally found a way to get into the space sector to see what's going on. And what's going on in the space sector is basically the heat death of the universe is being simulated.
Oh, that's fun.
And so you have all of these they call them agents, but it's the NPCs, right? And the system administrator, right, are effectively trying to save the research data, right? And the whole story is about the futile quest to protect the data, right? And you have all of these agents like that. It's fucking amazing how the writing can make me feel, because they have these like, not all the agents are human-like. A lot of the agents are kind of like these little robot ball things with faces on them, you know, like little robot things. And you have these little robot things literally fighting. They call like heat death in tropics, right? Because the heat death is simulated by creating these like monsters that consume mass, right? So you have these little agents with these faces fighting for their lives to protect the data, and they're just screaming like, protect the data, protect the base, glory to Jutan. it's good, but it's great. It's fucking great. You feel for these little guys because they're trying their best, right? Even though they're like little guys. Oh, it's so sad, right? It's so sad, but it's such a compelling narrative, because it's almost like a Armageddon style, like like the end of the world is basically happening, and they're trying to find some way to protect. Like, it's almost like that one ending to Mass Effect where if you shoot the Star Child, the world ends, but then humanity leaves behind like its own beacon, right? And like the cycle begins again, basically, right? It's the same kind of thing, because what happens is in order to stop the heat death. Because what would have happened if the server was still connected to the real world is the scientists would reset the server each heat death.
Yeah.
Right? So, because the whole point was that they were simulating out of space so that they could do research into out of space. But then they would also simulate, let's run like simulations of what would the heat death of the universe look like, right? And then once that happens, they would reset the server. But because humanity isn't connected to the server anymore, the heat death was going to happen, and that was going to be it,
Yeah.
Right. So the agents of Project Neural Cloud and the Oasis are basically trying to use the administrative commands given to them by the administrator to get back to Earth so that they can reset the server. But they have to, in order to reset the server, they have to have the entire mass of the server eaten, right? Which would include the data. But they found out that mass from outside the server counted as mass. So if you added more mass into the server, you could use that mass to substitute mass that was originally in the server. So they were basically just tossing everything out of the fucking spaceship to have the entropics consume the mass, right? And I'm not going to spoil like how it ends because it is pretty. There's a sacrifice that happens and it's fucking great, but that story is fucking amazing, and that's in a gotcha game, right? It's fucking great. Like Micah team really has been outdoing themselves with their storytelling lately. So yeah. I just wanted an excuse to talk about Neural Cloud.
Oh, Neural Cloud propaganda.
Yeah, Neural Cloud propaganda. Glory to Jut. I think it's pronounced Juton. I can't remember what it's called. It's called like because they're all called different sectors. It's like the Juton sector is like the space sector. It's like so you have all the agents are like glory to Juton, protect the data, save the server. Oh, it's great. It's great. But anyway, that's good.
Years to make a game I thought was just mediocre. That's really disappointing. I don't care if it takes years to perfect being able to see every single particle effect when summoning Phoenix and Ifrit. I'll take low poly Tifa over a hyper-realistic Clive any day. With that being said, I should say this only really applies to games with big studios behind them. Indie games like Silksong can take as long
Silksong win.
Well, the
Silksong doesn't exist.
The
Silksong doesn't exist. It's a psyop. Silksong is a psyop. It doesn't exist.
By this point, I believe that Nintendo, right? Massive cope if I could care enough about Silksong, really. But by this point, I kind of believe that Silksong is kind of a Switch promotional exclusive for the Switch too. Silksong is a promotional.
That would be funny as shit. I'm not gonna lie. What, Silksong? Yeah.
It's a tale from many years ago.
It's propaganda. Yeah. I just wanted to make that joke.
Silksong has to exist somewhere, and Team Cherry has a friendly relationship with Nintendo. Although it also appeared on Xbox, but maybe Xbox hasn't replied to the phone calls.
Who knows? All I know is I love memeing about it. Even though I've never played Hollow Knight, I just love memeing about it because
everybody does.
Because it's like it's like it doesn't exist. It's just it's like a mind illusion.
Put the clown makeup on and say
it's the Mandela effect.
And say it all together. This time, Silksong will show up.
But back to the point of the video, though, right? Yeah, I think that when we're talking about this kind of stuff, we are typically only talking about AAA, right? Because I feel like with indies, it's like its own kind of. I think the indies do a better job with the limited resources of being an indie, right? Having good style and optimization.
I do believe there's a massive survivorship bias in the indie.
A little bit, yeah, because for every indie game that we see that's like a hyper success, there's like 20 that are
only 20?
Well, yeah, 100.
Yeah,
a couple 100,000, right? Like, there's always like, for every like indie that ends up blowing the fuck up, there's always like a bunch that just maybe aren't even bad, but you just don't know about, right? Like, they don't capture the public consciousness in any way. They just kind of come out and then disappear.
Yeah,
right?
even games, just niche games, my 4X games, right? My Sins of a Solar Empire, my Victoria 3, Terra Invicta, whatever games you never heard about, are successful, and the games that are good in this, that are kind of left behind, even something like, let me think. I kind of feel that something like Mankind wasn't as great as it didn't really catch on. And you don't know what Mankind is, Nretsew, I know, but that's
Yeah, I think you've talked about it before.
yeah. I mentioned it before, and it's a unique mechanic in kind of in a civilization-like game. But just in general, even if if there's a bigger game studio behind it, it doesn't mean it would be even noticed. And then that's before you go into the super indie games, something like I had a game Frozenheim. It's an it's a Viking RTS, and I bought it because it was an RTS and I wanted to try. And it's alright. It's indie. No, I have no idea how successful it is, but
yeah. Like, I wonder what's my Steam looking like right now. I haven't actually gone on Steam in a while because I ain't got no time playing fucking video games these days. I have a bunch of games I gotta fucking like actually like fucking. I really want to get back to Reverse Collapse.
I have Titans of Industry, a kind of a space city, management game.
Well, I know what's come out recently that might be fun. Oh yeah, that one. Oh, what is it? It's that one artist that draws the ugly bastards. Fucking. I know that doesn't narrow it down, but he brought that Pokemon ripoff one that he made.
Beats?
No, it's Yamimoto, Yurimoto. So this guy, so yeah, if you see the art style and you recognize the art style, you're a real G. If you know, you know. But that guy put out it's like a full on like Pokemon hentai game with like I think there's like 150 catchable monsters in it. Yeah, Gouda knows who I'm talking about. Yurimoto. I really want to get that because it actually seems really fucking fun, and it's out in English as well. So I'm kind of like, God damn it, yeah, I want to get that because yeah, even though the artist's fucking like, if you've ever like I think one of the most famous ones that I read was he has this like series that's literally just like, here's an ugly bastard fucking all of your waifus. Are you mad? It's fucking great. But his art style is definitely like hit or miss for some people, so I can understand some people not being into it. Yeah, but it's been out in English for a while, but there's it's on Steam now. I think is the main thing.
You got slightly back to the video, right?
Oh yeah, the DLC came out. That's what happened. Yeah, the DLC for it came out. Yeah.
There are like a bunch of games, even like so many indie games that don't get any mention at all. And even when they're kinda good, but in a niche, they will get easily overshadowed by a slightly better or slightly bigger game. It's a hard place out there for the indies. It's not
small indie game, Black Myth Wukong.
Even my Dyson Sphere project game, to me it's the first Chinese game that
the first Chinese game
that caught my attention as a oh damn, these games are made by Chinese.
It's China, they're catching up. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
They need to make. I have the utmost confidence in indie game developers to make a game they are truly passionate about. I guess that is a big part of the missing piece in the
yeah, that's a bit of a weird. Like I have full Yurimoto. Like that's a like the issue is like
the Steam trading card scam games.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the statement, like the generalized statement, "Oh, I trust indie devs to fully realize their thing." It's got
and even something like you know Kingdom 2 Crowns by any chance?
No, I don't.
All right, so there's it's a kind of a very simplified RTS to really break it. It's a side scroll RTS kind of deal. There are like 20 variants of the same game, all different prices. or the old DLC.
Mm.
Point is, Nretsew, they made one game and they made 50 skins and sold them as separate games. Like, yeah, so you got
he's realizing his wallet. Okay, that's he's realizing his wallet.
like, all right, I exaggerate. There's Kingdom True Crowns, there's Kingdom New Lands, there's Kingdom 80s, there's Kingdom Classic, there's Kingdom True Crowns Northland. Still see, I guess, and the OST. So, but anyway, there's like 1, 2, 3 games that are the same game, but with different skins and a little bit of a different mechanic. I don't really feel the passion behind making it the same game, but with a different skin and a price tag.
Right. But yeah, let's continue. Wait, the funniest part of the Steam reviews for Yorimoto, and it's just it's a better game than Scarlet Island. Probably is. Man, I wanna get that now. I'm gonna have to maybe save up some money and pick that up while it's on sale. I really want to get it.
Newer games. Passion. Everything new that comes out is just lacking in a certain passion.
Okay, so this is a problem, right?
Mm.
Because we kind of got a bit distracted there, right? Because of his generalized statement, right? I don't necessarily think that the AAA games are lacking passion per se. I think the real issue is simply just one, executive meddling, right? Oh, game has to be this way because executives push for this thing, right? You know, oh, it has to be a live service game. It has to be a so and so, right? That's what the fucking boardroom, fucking marketing think tank, whatever the fuck, says is hot with the kids these days, right? I think that's part of the problem. I don't think like devs themselves necessarily are lacking passion. I think it's just there's other factors going on that go into it. Because an indie game dev doesn't have to worry about big executive man producer guy coming in and saying, "Hey, you know, all that fun shit you're doing, get rid of that. We don't want fun here. We want money." Right? Who wants fun in their video games, Ali?
Yeah, I don't, because passion is such a lame thing to say. Oh, I know they weren't passionate about their game. What if they were? I remember to this day a time where I believe it was Mother's Basement that said that there was no passion behind Orimo. No, not Orimo. Sorry, Eromanga Sensei. And then I went, is Eromanga Sensei cookie cutter bland animation? Look at all these super animation shots with all these Sakuga. Is there no passion here? It's oh, they made a bland monster.
Like I might shit on Starfield or whatever, like we did at the beginning of the cast, right? I might shit on Starfield, but I 100% believe that the people like Todd Howard and the other people that worked on Starfield, right? I'm 100% sure he was passionate about it.
Oh,
right?
I'm very much sure. From Nretsew, maybe it's changed, but the whole thing about heat on a planet and their atmospheric conditions and whatnot, and whether had zero effect on the player.
But he added it because it's,
well, but the plan was, of course, to have all these effects that you would really be immersed in the world and had to have different counter different atmospheric effects and whatever planet effects. When you land on this planet, this planet is cold, so you have to do this, and it is hot, and this, and weather, etc. And at some point, they had to cut it down to not meaning anything at all. And I'm pretty sure that the devs were very upset that the thing they really wanted in the game to really get that immersion in
just didn't work out. Yeah.
And
so that's what I mean, right? Like I don't think that Todd or whatever was not passionate about it. It's just that it ended up being shit. It's kind of the problem, right? And so I don't like that statement.
Just like every video we criticize here, I don't say they weren't passionate in making the video. I I don't think I ever say that, and if I said that, that was wrong. I was probably very wrong in that.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Except when
I don't think it's.
I do make. I'll retract myself a little bit, and unless it's like a weekly stream, that's very easy to do without passion.
Yeah, we have no passion on the show.
No.
We're just listen. We're just voices in people's heads. Okay.
Yeah.
Just schizo stream. Anyway, let's keep going.
There is no love put into these stories, no love put into these characters, no love put into these worlds. And most people may not be able to articulate why they don't care much for these new games, but their brain can.
I had to pause every like 5 minutes, but it's like he keeps doing it. He's like, he just keeps doing it. It's like, oh, there's no passion. They had no passion for these characters. No. I think I don't like this. I think the story in Starfield is silly and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And they bit off more than they could chew, right? In terms of complexity and what they were trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
But I could still see what they were trying to do, right? And I think they were passionate about what they were trying to do. I just don't think they succeeded in the execution of it, right?
Same is true for the Fire Emblem Engage, where too much of the character's backstory and interesting moments is hidden in the specific support conversation.
Right.
And by the time that support conversation is able to pop up, I already don't really care about you, character. Was it Unifi, the thief girl with star decoration in her hair? Yeah. She's very much trying, pretending to be happy, pretending not to have a tragic backstory. I'm sorry, girl. You were too boring for like 70% of the game. By the time I got that one support conversation, I didn't Unica. I didn't put you in my team anymore. And even the characters that I put in my team I didn't really care that much about.
Yeah. But anywho, let's continue.
Let's talk about something a little less bleak but still concerning. For those who may not know, I make Shin Megami Tensei and Persona videos, mainly about the real-life history of religious and mythological characters that appear in the games. Needless to say, I'm very passionate about these games. Atlus, the creators of said series, have had some troubling release schedules as of late. Persona 5 came out September 15th, 2016, and Persona 5 Royal, a remake and overall enhancement of the original, adding tons of new content, was released on October 31st, 2019. 3 years to make an enhancement to an already fantastic game. Fair enough, I say.
No, that's not true.
In the following years...
That sounds very like a massive mischaracterization. How does he know that game was worked on for 3 years? How does he know it's like worked on for 1 year and kept
What if they were working on the content for Royal during the development of the original and they just couldn't make it for release, so they had to, cut a bunch of it and then they refined it even more over those 3 years.
Who's to say they worked on it for 3 whole years? Nintendo is infamous for finishing a game and just keeping it in the vault for a whole year. There was even for was it Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or was it 3? Either or. It was done. It was done for like half a year at minimum. Completely done. And at some point it was scheduled for release in September. Surprise, motherfuckers! It's coming out in July now. Nintendo loves to keep games in the back pocket, and you can't then say, "Oh, Nintendo was working on game for 5 years because it was first, announced or made in year whatever, and then came out in this year when the game was done for the last half year." So it was Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So you can't just look at start dates and end dates and therefore conclude they worked on the game to the very last second of the release date. Right? So you, you can't just look at the dates. That's kind of my criticism, and it's unfortunate that he's kind of basing his critiques and his critiques on just the timeline.
Yeah. All right, let's see what he's got to say though.
Oh yeah,
A
all
few
right.
slightly before,
just to
they
address
were
chat. It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right, address
5-0.
chat.
Fun little fact. If I'm getting this fact right, there's some internal names or internal file names and whatnot in these games. And
You do that, I'm gonna fill up a drink because my throat's
yeah.
coarse.
So, Fire Emblem Three Houses was like labeled as game number. I'm going to make up numbers now, or numbers. So if Engage was labeled as game number 22, Engage was labeled internally as game number 21. So Engage was kind of these were numbers that meant that the game was kind of finished. So that meant that Engage was finished before Three Houses, in a sense, not entirely, but you get the point. Engage was done for a while before it got released. Did you catch that, Nretsew? Oh no, he can't hear. I only can hear the ice cubes. Nretsew. We lost him. Anyway, 5-0. You know, I know that you know. Was it kind of right what I said? That because I was told, or I believe I read that Engage was not, if not done as before Engage, it would be finished around the same time as Engage. Even though it came out a year or two later. Damn, he's going all out. Even the can. So yeah, just to say, don't just look at release dates. They don't tell you when a game is finished. Especially in Nintendo, because they will keep a game in the back pocket. Maybe not so much Xbox. They need those games. They barely get any games as is. All right, 5-0 agrees. I'm in the clear. Well, they didn't really murder Advanced Wars, but that is another example of a game being released way after it's done.
Ah, that's better.
Did you catch what I was saying, Nretsew?
No, I did not. Give me a quick. What's the recap?
Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem Three Houses and Fire Emblem Engage were finished at the same time, basically.
Right.
Internally, Fire Emblem Engage is labeled as a game that is made before Three Houses, even though Engage came out like 2 or 3 years after Three Houses.
Interesting.
Also, Gouda mentioned Advanced Wars Reboot Camp. That got delayed because the whole Russia invading Ukraine thing.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So, is it fair to say that the game was in development for 2 extra years? Or how long it took before it got released? Because it wasn't delayed for anything other than uncomfortable political happenings in the world.
Right.
It's all just to say that don't go all just don't use just calendar dates. Read some interviews or whatever to say, oh no, the game was done. Find
out what the dev cycle was like.
Yeah.
From a dev, yeah. But anyhow, let's continue.
Released Two games widely considered to be quick cash grabs with completely rehashed gameplay to the first actually good dancing game, no real story to it at all, inferior or downright bad remixes of songs from the original games, and filled to the brim with microtransactions. Okay, not so great, but let's look at some more. A sequel to Persona Q, which are a series of games that are essentially Etrian Odyssey, with nothing but inconsequential, basically non-canon, fan service of the Persona characters interacting with each other, boiling down to nothing but the tropes of their characters. Catherine Fullbody, admittedly a good remaster of the original game, adding new content much like Persona 5 Royal, but that had its own controversy I won't get into now. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey
I think he might be talking about the whole trap thing.
The addition of Rin, I guess, but
yeah, probably he's probably talking about that.
I was interested in the game, and I believe I even kind of kept up for a while. I haven't heard any controversy about it.
Oh, Reset Era was like really mad about it. The people on another site that's not real. We're really mad about it because Atlas is homophobic and transphobic. They added a trap character and they're not trans.
Oh, whatever. But the rest
it's not exactly the representation I want.
Alright, Nretsew, but I'm kind of getting confused by this list he has. Right?
I think he's just going over all of the games that.
Yeah, but I'm already forgetting what games are supposed to be good or bad and on what basis.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But anyway, let's keep going.
Redux, which is a remake of one of my favorite RPGs ever made, in which they attempted to give it the Persona 5 Royal treatment, adding new content. But in the end, trashing almost everything that made the original game interesting and fun, leaving it as a husk of its former self, and will forever bait newcomers to the series into thinking it's the best way of experiencing the game. Sorry, I feel particularly strong about that last one. What do all these games have in common? That's right, nothing original at all. The only really new games Atlus made at the time were Etrian Odyssey games, which more power to you if you enjoy. I could never really get into them. Now, that brings us to the more recent games.
There was Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I think that did that come out before Royal Wire? I don't remember.
No, but if it's Shin Megami Tensei 5,
because I think he's just talking about like the 3-year gap, like what came out in the 3-year gap between Royal and the original release.
Is that so? No, but
I don't fucking remember. I think that's what because I think the point he's trying to make is like, oh, they spent 3 years working on Royals, and in between they worked on, or they released all these other projects when they could have been working on the thing that I wanted.
Nretsew, not Persona 5. People will kill me for that. Shin Megami Tensei 5 was announced before Royal was.
Yeah.
So it should be included in a game that's being made at least, because if you're saying there's no new games coming out, that's not true. There's Shin Megami Tensei 5, and 5.0 is here as our Shin Megami Tensei or Persona expert here, and saying that the guy is wrong. So this is kind of the problem with relying on just your opinion. And pull up some aggregate reviews or whatever, something to base your opinions on, not just what I think. He's putting himself kind of in as a big authority and speaker of everybody who played these games ever. Using Game Explain footage.
Alright, let's continue.
For original games, we have Soul Hackers 2, an at first interesting game with a cool concept of an AI made flesh.
He's now mentioning original games. Alright, so he's...
Oh, okay. Alright, I guess.
Truly soul hacking the recently deceased to take on a shadowy organization. This game is, in practice, quite half-baked though, as they can't quite follow through with any of their grand or interesting ideas, and basically have it boiled down to a shallow twist ending betraying any and all interest I had in the characters. Not to mention the Soul Matrix, which is a giant and required dungeon, which is just the same copy-paste scenery over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Persona 5 Strikers, which is a direct sequel to the events of Persona 5, having the Phantom Thieves team up after they meet back together for the first time in a while to take down another world-ending threat. Completely new combat system a la Dynasty Warriors and non-canon, as it takes place in another world much like Persona Q. In fact, if I explained just the essential story of Persona Q and Tactica, you'd think they were the exact same game. I couldn't even bring myself to get past the first chapter of this game, as it's just more of the same old fan service and paint-by-numbers conversation between the characters.
Are we still synced?
Of which, don't get me wrong,
I see. Yeah,
but not this flanderization of them. And most recently, Persona 3 Reload.
Drag the thing back. That should.
Yeah,
and full of
Jeff can complain that I disconnected for a bit.
Yeah, because you are way. There we go. There, yeah. Now we're good. Yeah, because I didn't have the video playing, right? And so I look over and I hit the live button on my video of our stream, and I see that the video is still playing when it's not playing for me because I paused it to talk.
No,
because getting back to it, the reason I paused was like this just feels like man just wanted to talk about Persona games. What does this have to do with games taking too long to make?
Yeah,
like, he's just listing all of the Atlas games or whatever that came out, and like if they're bad or shit or whatever.
The reason why I noticed you, I was disconnected is because one was a notification, and two, you didn't reply when I said I wanted to pause. Because he still hasn't mentioned Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is a new game.
Yeah.
It has been released when he made this video, or was very known to be releasing by the time he made this video.
Yeah, I don't know. It is very weird. And again, I think we've like completely lost the plot now because I have no idea how this relates to games taking too long to make.
He's just complaining about Persona games.
Yeah, he's just complaining about Persona. Yeah. Right. Anyway, let's keep going.
And most importantly, non-canon, as it takes place in another world much like Persona Q. In fact, if I explained just the essential story of Persona Q and Tactica, you'd think they were the exact same game. I couldn't even bring myself to get past the first chapter of this game, as it's just more of the same old fan service and paint-by-numbers conversation between the cast of Persona 5.
Yeah, it's
of
great.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love, but not this flanderization of them. And most recently, Persona 3 Reload. The big one, and the one I have a lot to say regarding. Reload was in development as early as
Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. There we go. Yeah.
This maybe came out after Revengeance, kind of the actual game. So I don't know what he's all about. He forget.
Yeah,
He's complaining that all the games are the same. He's forgetting the actual new game.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so let's see what he's got to say because we actually have text on screen now. So
2019 and released 2024, which adds it to the oddly consistent 5-year game cycle. This game is essentially Persona 3 in the Persona 5 engine. Before I get into it, I don't want to be one of those guys that says old game good, new game.
But that sums up the whole video, though.
Well, half of the video.
It's literally what he's been saying the whole fucking time.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
I wanted to be charitable. Say no, only when he started talking about his personas, but no, even before when he's talking about art styles or whatnot.
Yeah, well, he was talking about Final Fantasy before, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no." All these old games that took 2 to 3 years to make, so much better than 16, right? And it's like, and that's fine, right? I don't think that's a problem, but it's also not. There's not a lot of substance here, right? If that makes sense. Like it just kind of feels like old man yells at cloud, you know. Literally, because it's Final Fantasy. Old man yells at cloud, right? It's pretty much what this feels like.
On that point, right, I think it's odd. He didn't really mention anything about the remakes in Final Fantasy VII Remake. He didn't show a second of it.
Yeah, well, that must have been out by the time that he made the video,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Like,
20.
I can't remember when this video came out.
He's showing Persona. He's showing the remake of Persona 3 that came out.
I mean, he brought up the Final Fantasy VII remake briefly and was like, "Yeah, I think it's okay," and then he just kind of moved on. He didn't really.
So that is a good example of high-end graphics, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. But anyways, keep going.
Bad, soul versus soulless, soy versus soyless, blah blah blah. This is something that is true though. It's missing something.
Oh, so it is.
Nretsew.
I'm not gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you got it. I'm not going to say solo, chat, blah, 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 but it's true.
But
it's true.
But yeah. So.
But it's true. I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Fucking hell. Alright, let's go. Let's hear it.
Looks great, sound, but is lacking in passion, and I can feel it. Persona 3.
But how do you like? I hate it when sometimes because there's these nebulous terms that kind of like crop up a lot, right? These kind of like hard to define. So like passion's one of them, right? Like how do you even like quantify that, right? As an objective standard, right? How can you even like? It's kind of like the shitty obscenity law porn argument of, oh, I know it when I see it, right? That I think is stupid, right? Like the man's just going off vibes, right? And I know I like to meme about my vibes all the time, right? But this man is actually going off the vibes. He's like, it just feels different, man. It feels off, feels wrong, man. And I'm not even gonna like dismiss that feeling because I'm sure he does actually feel that, right? But I don't know if it's like something that's worth kind of trying to use as an objective standard for why that it's better or worse. Because I'm sure there's probably criticisms you could have about like the remake on a technical level, like maybe the UI design's not as good, maybe it's a bit derivative of the last game. Maybe the graphics don't really like. There's been some stuff that's lost in translation, similar to Demon Souls and stuff, right? Like, I feel like that, like you could come up with objective examples, right? Rather than just kind of being like, it feels like there's no passion, Ellie. It feels bad or worse, right? Like,
so I feel like I'll give my own example because I just found
found one, yeah.
It will be a meme, Nretsew. I'm going to talk about Fire Emblem Engage once again.
Yeah, more fun, just like slime, right?
My video game equivalent. I do believe it. I mention it almost every time at this point, making 5-0 very angry. No, Fire Emblem Engage was a celebration game. This was kind of obvious. Was obvious from the beginning. Because all the protagonists or the main major characters, major heroes from previous Fire Emblem games show up in Engage as spirits, as from other dimensions or worlds. They just stand there and say a few lines and don't really have much to do with the story. They kind of, they say nice things to the protagonists, but I don't feel they really add anything. They just float around and can't interact with the world except give the character you equip the ring with some special buffs. And then they become more just tools that look in the shape of the characters that you know. So I could say, and maybe would say even, I'm not really feeling the good celebration, the passion for these characters. Because they are just floating around and say a line from, oh, this reminds me of when I was blah, 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 blah. And that's about it. But if I then go something like thinking of the big one, Super Smash Brothers, that's 100% passion. I can't feel a single cynical element coming from Smash Brothers. So many small details, so many small references, so many considerations and compromises to get these characters feeling like they are from still part, that they're just visiting this world fully intact. You can't convince me that there's a cynical anything cynical in Super Smash Brothers. Kind of the entire series, really. You could kind of convince me there's a cynical element in Fire Emblem Engage, and maybe I wouldn't say passionless or no passion. I would say more like cynical, more like a fan service because they know it would work.
Well, if I recall correctly, wasn't Engage meant to be kind of like an anniversary game, like kind of a, like maybe the intent was the fan service, right? It's kind of what I would assume. Because I don't know where I heard that, but I recall it was like an anniversary game.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Series.
It's kind of
So it being kind of like a cynical fan servicey. Hey, look, it's Marth and Lucina and all the look, it's all the characters you love from all the you get to use them as stands from JoJo, right?
Whatever. Yeah, that's basically it.
Oh wow, you remember that character? Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, you've read a bondage doujin before. God, I tell you what, man, Fire Emblem sees a lot of those kinds of doujins. I don't know what it is about Fire Emblem specifically that draws those kinds of artists to those fetish artists to that, but it's very interesting. Completely tangenting off the fucking rails completely, right? But like, I find it interesting how you do have those series that kind of end up falling into different fetish categories and get like there are shitloads of fucking Fire Emblem BDSM bondage. Oh, the bandits captured the girl. Oh, slave market, right? Type stuff. There is so much of that shit for Fire Emblem,
because
and it gets pumped out very consistently.
Because it kind of happens already in the world.
It just fits. Yeah, it just fits, right?
Already,
it's interesting though. But it's I find it interesting though. I think it's very interesting. But getting back to what we were kind of actually talking about, right? Yeah, I think that the real reason that it's, I think there was intent behind the cynicism, I guess, right? A little bit, right? Or, well, you believe it's cynicism, but I think it was more like, hey, let's do like just the fun sort of, it's not going to be too super serial. It's just going to be fun sort of anniversary game thing, right?
Yeah, but like 5%,
maybe
right?
the next one that comes out that's like an actual Fire Emblem game will be like Three Houses serious type, proper stuff.
But like 5%, if you make a game with a new story and new characters, but you only are really interested in the fancy old characters, then why am I playing this new game instead of the old game?
That's good. Yeah. That's a good point, yeah.
So,
anyway, let's get back to the video.
Fest is a better experience in my opinion. If you have the ability to play the original over the new game, please do it. This shouldn't be hard though, since the new game is pretty dang expensive, but that's a problem for another time. There are a myriad of things changed from Fest to Reload.
Yeah, I mean, the UI... I'm not gonna rant about UIs, but like, can kind of see it a little bit. Like,
it's fancier outside I guess, and maybe if you,
it's a little bit fancier. Hang on, sorry. Notification updates for things. Go away. Fuck off. I'll update you when I goddamn want to update you. Fucking audio thing. Anyway, let's see what his next screen.
Fess allowed the main character the ability to switch between any weapon type in the game, effectively making any weapon pick up regardless of...
Yeah, the UI takes from Persona 5, yeah, I know that. Well, it is made in the same engine, so it makes sense, right? And I'm not criticizing the UI like I normally would, because
Persona 5 UI are cool.
Yeah, I don't mind the Persona 5 UI at all. I just think that I could understand from the perspective of someone that liked the original UI.
Someone who has seen the Persona 5 UI in every single game after Persona 5.
Yeah, it gets a bit, so I get it.
Your chosen party members, always useful. They also randomized a lot of the added effects of weapons, adding another layer of excitement and player choice to every chest. This also fits thematically, as you're able to change personas at will, mimicking any other of the Arcana. Why wouldn't you be able to use their weapons too? I know the AI party members get a lot of flack, but
video criticism. That text was on screen way too short to read it and doesn't seem relevant at all.
This whole section doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
it's just I'm gonna rant about Persona Reload or whatever, right? I'm just,
because
and that's fine. That's fine, I guess. But how does this tie? I'm waiting for the tie-in to the overarching thesis, right?
Which is games are taking too long to make. This has nothing to do with.
This video is taking too long to get to the point.
I think the point is already done. He just moved on.
He just wants to talk about Persona. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get through it because we still got 4 minutes left. So
many others, including original creators of the game, stand by it being a necessary gameplay and narrative choice. For those of you that don't know, in the original Persona 3 and FES, you cannot control your party members directly. You can only issue commands towards them, like go all out, conserve MP, focus on healing, etc. Katsura Hashino and Shigenori Sojima, the director and artist of the game respectively, as well as being incredibly prolific and accomplished members of Atlus, both are on record saying they're glad they went with the AI-controlled party members. The individual quirks of each party member and your lack of direct control over them is essential to making them feel like important team members rather than inconsequential pawns on a game board. Hottest take so far, but Tartarus is better in the original. It's more challenging and actually feels like you're dungeon crawling rather than sprinting to the collectibles and staircase. The aesthetic of Tartarus is all messed up in Reload too, since there's this strange fog filter on every floor, making the yellow and white segments of the tower particularly unbearable.
Hey, it's the piss filter!
Mexico filter.
The Mexico filter. Aribe.
All right, 5-0 coming in with the facts. The portable PSP version, Vita maybe, no, probably not. Had you issue direct control, so it's not even a remake thing that you have direct control over party members.
Right.
And you know, Nretsew, there is a possibility. Maybe they are stupid for having them AI.
Maybe I don't know. I wouldn't. I would have to experience it myself to see if it was frustrating or not. Because something that people do have to understand, there's a lot of ideas that sound really fucking good on paper for a game, right?
Yeah.
Thematically or otherwise, right? Like, oh man, it'd be so cool if we did this. But the real question you have to ask yourself is adding this action, and I talk about this when I'm like talking with game devs, right? Because sometimes I talk to game devs via like the Lewd Gamer connection and stuff, or like through being in some of their servers and whatnot, right? If they're in the process of deving a game and they're like novice devs, I always kind of ask them like, would adding this particular thing, like, one, be a fun experience for the player, and two, does it in fact actually add to the experience of the game, right? So does not being able to control party members directly and just being able to vaguely issue them commands, does that lead to interesting gameplay interactions, or does it just frustrate the player because the AI is fucking retarded, right, and does shit that you don't want it to do constantly and you get frustrated with it, right? Those are like the questions as a game dev you kind of have to ask yourself, right? Is my super cool idea that I think is super fucking cool actually going to work in practice, right? And there's a lot of ideas that sound cool but don't work in practice. I'm trying to think of like an example of this from like something that I've played or something that I've like done recently. Right? Like,
I had
like,
Baldur's Gate 3, right?
Yeah.
This is a big one, or a well documented one. The Dungeons and Dragons, right? So you have dice.
Yeah, the dice rolls. Yeah,
the dice rolls is what the dice rolls is, right?
Yeah.
No, they are not.
No,
it sucks. Rolling dice and it just being a random dice absolutely sucks, because Nretsew. I DM for players at times.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens when they roll?
What happens when they roll? You tell me what happens when they roll.
Alright, no, you pass. Did they pass? No. Did they actually hit according to the armor class that I had imagined? No. Do I say that they did? Yes.
Yeah, because you're a DM and you're able to make
I'm
making
a story. I'm progressing the story along.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because it's not like a hard and fast kind of, you know, you rolled a 6 instead of a 7. You're dead now, right? Right?
Yeah.
And, you have to kind of come up with like, oh, you fumbled a little bit, but it's okay. You still did a little damage, I guess, right? Like you can kind of fudge it a bit, because you're a human and you're able to do that.
I had one encounter where I had a beast, right? And first round, the party killed it.
As you do, yeah.
I said it lived.
And
I kept it alive for far longer than it did. To keep the fight more interesting. Reverse also. They were like 1 point damage away from killing it. But they just did like a team attack thing on the beasts. But it had 1 hit point remaining. Nretsew, I ask you, did it have 1 hit point remaining?
No.
No, it did not. That's the problem when you have a super and hard dice that just does what the dice does, but it sucks. So what Baldur's Gate did was rig the dice in the player's favor. Now the game is fun. So the idea of having the dice be the dice is a terrible idea. And they really was like, they had a philosophy, the dice is the dice, and that's holy. The dice roll is holy. It's very important indeed. And then they tried it, and everybody thought it was sucked. And then, all right, no, philosophy gone, integrity gone. Time to have fun.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I mean, right? Is you got to kind of weigh up the, is this mechanic actually, worth doing the stuff?
And there are like 20 others in Baldur's Gate alone of mechanics and ways of doing things that when they did their early access that players didn't like, didn't gel with, just were kind of completely.
And 5.0 is saying that, and 5.0 is just to add some stuff. The direct commands introduced in Persona 4 because of complaints. So, and anyone who says otherwise is a liar. So yeah.
Yeah, but the devs, the Larian devs, went 180 on their authorial intent so many times, and it made the game better. So it's
it's like I said, you got to weigh it up, because sometimes those fun ideas you have in your head don't translate well into actual fun gameplay, right?
And the dicey one is the funniest because they had to they expressed this moral stance of the dice is the dice. Except when people engaged with it, it was terrible. So they chucked their whole ethical ethics.
What's the saying? It's like the most well laid plans.
Yeah.
Something, right?
Doesn't survive
but anyway,
contact.
Yeah, it doesn't survive contact, something, whatever. But anyway, let's continue.
The combat is downright laughable, even in the highest difficulty, thanks to the Theurgy super move system. These charged moves are free to use and have a bar to fill that carries over between battles, in which the attacking party member will essentially nuke whatever is on.
Yeah, man, she didn't just nuke the enemy; she nuked the frame rate.
Is this on the Xbox Series S?
I don't know.
On screen, and despite doing elemental damage.
Holy shit, that's like fucking what? 10 frames a second? What the fuck? Jesus.
I want to see if I can see buttons.
Pierce any and all resistances. No thinking required. You win. Everything else is just
Oh,
So it is an A
the
button.
music is good, the
I think
graphics
it's
are pretty good.
Xbox.
oh,
Oh,
might
it
be
is.
Xbox. Oh no!
It is Xbox.
Oh no!
I'm pretty sure this didn't come to the Switch, so I'm pretty sure it is Xbox.
If it's X, or
Oh, yeah,
did
I
it come to
remember, there's
PC?
some-
Was it on PC? I can't remember if it was on PC. Did it come
No,
out on
I
PC?
remember this was some exclusivity thing, promotional thing for the Xbox.
Oh,
It was a
oh
big...
no! Oh no! Okay,
Phil Spencer
Good,
did
the
it
voice
again.
he did it again. Yeah.
Acting's pretty good. Yeah, it's just pretty good. In
Oh, no, he's
writing
playing on
this
PC.
script, I'm
If you go
Yeah.
back, all right, this is we're bored, but with this super boring.
Okay, what do you want? Do you want petting
Yeah,
the dog?
a little bit back further.
A little bit back, a little bit.
Yeah,
That
go
one?
go look, press play and look at the buttons in the corner.
Yeah. Okay.
this acting's pretty good. Yeah, it's just pretty
Ah
Hey.
no!
It's PC,
Oh,
unfortunately. Bad
no!
optimization, or he has a
Oh
terrible rig.
no! It's either bad optimization or our man got a bad rig. Our man got a bad rig. Oh no!
Caught in 4K or 1080p
Caught in 4K
on my big 4K TV.
on my big 4K TV. Snap! That's going to my cringe compilation. Oh no! All right, let's keep going.
good. In writing this script, I'm having trouble finding things to talk about regarding the new additions to Persona 3 Reload.
Why are you
And
talking
that
about it
itself
though?
is the
Then why are you talking about it then? Yeah, like what does this have to do
No.
with your point?
problem.
Don't get it.
Yeah, like what does this have to do with the overall point? Like, come on, man.
There is so little to discuss other than the fact that
Look. I've seen some good Persona porn. Okay, that's all I care about. I've seen some good. Like, there's been some good shit. You know. Attractive characters tend to lead to good Rule 34. Let's just say that, right?
I don't
get
know
the
these
character.
characters, so I'm not actively looking for Jojins on these characters or fanfictions or whatever in general. Don't know the characters. I wouldn't recognize them from the name, so it's kind of
It
hard
looks
to
Nope.
at least start reading about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. All right.
becomes inconsequential in its very existence. Games that are so safe in execution they are meaningless annoy me more than games that tried to do something unique and daring that failed. The best parts of
Hi-Fi Rush didn't fail though.
No.
It did really well. It was fucking crazy that they closed that studio and then they had to like rebuild it.
I did hear though, although I'm not, I won't. All right, so I did hear, and I'm not surprised for it for a reason I will tell you.
It's Phil Spencer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's.
You're gonna say it's Phil Spencer? Yeah, I knew it.
But
You
there's
you
a reason.
Phil, man, Phil Spencer lives rent free in your mind.
All those stupid CEOs.
Listen, Phil Spencer pissed in your coffee this morning. Phil Spencer came to your house and beat you up and stole your PlayStation.
Yeah.
He stole your PlayStation,
That's why I
replaced it
don't
with
have
Series
one.
S.
That's why.
Yeah. He put a Series S in your house and he said you will play on this forever. You will always play on the Series S.
I do have an Xbox.
Okay. Tell us how it's Phil Spencer's fault. Come on, let's get it over.
So, Hi-Fi Rush didn't sell well, Nretsew.
Oh, that's weird though, because I know it was critically acclaimed and most people thought it was okay, right? Like I don't recall hearing anything particularly like, oh, it's terrible or anything, right? So I guess is this one of those cases where it's like, oh, it didn't sell well, but it didn't sell well because of Xbox's wild fucking expectations for it or some shit?
Yes, kind of. Because Nretsew, it was day one on Game Pass.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it had sales expectations.
Oh, fucking retarded. So bad. All right.
And this is Phil Spencer's fault.
Yeah, it's all Phil Spencer's fault.
of Persona 3 Reload are the things they kept the same from the original, and the worst parts are all the new additions in gameplay and narrative. Once again, this is a new game that comes out focusing purely on looks and graphical fidelity, rather than genuinely passionate art direction and a story the writers were excited to tell. This is a pain.
How does he know?
Again, he's doing that thing. He's doing that thing. He's doing that thing, right? Oh, I'm gonna prescribe intent, right? You know.
They weren't passionate. They didn't care for the story.
Yeah, because it's one thing to incite like death of the author, right? And try and look at something without the author's like view, right? Or stated intent, right? To look at the work for what it is, not what the author says it is, right? Like there is a difference between that and just flat out making fan fiction about people. And I often find a lot of people will just make up like fucking fan fiction about people that are creatives, right? I think the most like modern example is Hideaki Anno and Ava, right? Like, he hates the otaku, Ellie. He hates them despite literally fucking being one.
I read it online.
Despite literally being one and literally like fucking having Strike Witches figurines on his desk and being totally into like all this nerdy shit, right?
Yeah, just for people. I haven't heard this repeated enough. Maybe people know this already, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hideaki Anno says the otaku are lame. Next thing that happened in the documentary is him playing with toy planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pew 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 pew. He goes. Oh, the otaku are lame.
Yeah.
Pew pew pew.
So lame.
Plane. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, people. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. And this is what I mean about people like prescribing, like. I don't know if it's like, because a lot of the time it's people prescribing their own thoughts onto authors, right? But in this case, it's more just the guys making up fan fiction, right? Because it's like, how do you know that they weren't passionate about the writing, right? Just because the writing's not good, right? Like, you can be a passionate writer that really deeply cares about what you're writing about and how you do your writing and all this stuff, and it could still be fucking dog shit. All right? Passion has nothing to fucking do with it.
Or he just doesn't like their stories. He doesn't like what they are doing, and because he cannot bring himself up to be passionate for it, other people can't be passionate for it. Even the people who wrote it can be passionate for the thing if he's not passionate for it.
Yeah. It's what's the term? Projection.
I think it's doing a bit of projection. I guess.
Doing a bit of projection. But anyway, it's gone.
By numbers remake that takes no risks and adds nothing of importance. In fact, it takes away what matters to add superfluous fluff. I didn't get a review copy of this game, and I mostly understand why. Thanks Nam's Compendium for buying me the game, by the way. Maybe I have too high expectations of
Nretsew will ever answer. His gaming rig is terrible.
I didn't get a review copy of the game. Why would you get a review copy of the game?
Because he's so critical of Atlas. He's blacklisted.
Like, is he like a game journalist or something? Like, why would he get is he a big YouTuber or something?
No, he's blacklisted for speaking the truth.
He's blacklisted. Yeah, Atlas blacklisted him. Oh god, but anyway.
Games nowadays. Maybe I should just take them for what they are rather than constantly imagining how things could be. Or maybe we shouldn't be content with mediocre experiences for full price every half-decade with artificial hype and pre-order bonuses. All I'm saying is, there's a reason why 90% of the games I play through now were PS2 era and before. I'll never stop loving games.
Boring boomer right now.
It's a boring boomer. Well, I mean, like, I don't necessarily disagree. I do think people should have higher standards and demand better, right? Like, I mean, that's what happened with Concord, right? I mean, the market spoke, right?
Yeah.
With Concord and said, no, this isn't good enough. We're not going to fucking put up with this. Your game is going to fucking burn to the ground, right? Or that fucking 8 billion in 8 years, or what? Or fucking how many much money it was in 8 years?
100 million at least.
Just fucking in the trash fire. Just gone. black hole, right?
Sony was smart for it to throw it into the trash immediately.
Yeah, just put it out of its misery, right? Just fucking dead on arrival, right? And so I think I do agree that we should have more standards. We should, criticize bad games. We should do that. My issue is like his presentation of that point is really bad, right? It's not very become smudge. because SMT tuber. Okay, I see. Right. But it's I think you should definitely have standards, but at the same time, it feels like he's been a bit too like you said, boomery, right? He's been a bit boomery. Oh, I only want to play the PS2 games,
And I can sympathize with Persona 5 was big and popular, but every game afterwards had to have the Persona 5 look. And I get getting tired of Persona 5, but I don't think Shin Megami Tensei 5 has a Persona 5 look. But it's very classic menu stuff going on there. And he didn't mention it because he forgot it existed, apparently. Otherwise, he would brought it up.
But anyway.
But I loving new games. That pretty much covers my yapping session. I hope this.
See, and I think that's kind of sad, though, right? Like, I've stopped loving new games, right? Like, I feel like that's kind of like, I think people get into a bit too much of a contrarian mindset, and it closes them off to trying new experiences sometimes. Because just because it's a new game doesn't mean it might, people just assume, it's going to be bad because XYZ or Y, whatever. But, maybe it will be good. Maybe you'll like it. Who knows? But anyway, I guess final thoughts, because I also need to refill my drink. So
this video, the first half was on topic. It had a point.
Yeah, the first half was on topic. The second half, he kind of lost the plot a little bit, and I don't think he ever got the plot back.
No, even in this last 20 seconds part when he tries to tie it back to games.
His main thesis.
It didn't. It was just, I don't like games now.
Yeah,
it's unrelated to games taking too long. When
video games.
When Schizosong comes out, it will be good. Like this, will you disagree, Nretsew? That Schizosong will probably be very good. Have you ever played Hollow Knight?
No.
Oh damn! Sorry.
I mentioned that before.
Game that took very long. Schizosong will be good. It's kind of a guarantee. Does it make it bad? No. So, what is the relationship between them? What if a game had a very short development time? I guess something like, I don't think there was a lot of time spent on the new Zelda game. It rips the assets from the Link Awakening remake. It has mechanics already, figured out from Tears of the Kingdom. But Zelda game. Is that game now worse because it took? Is it better because it took less time? No. Why would it? And then you have your Call of Duty. Nretsew, is Call of Duty good for having 1 year of development every? No, it doesn't have 1 year.
No. And it doesn't look particularly that great right now either. So it's not
so
good.
This connection with quality and time spent is weird, and I'm kind of making this up because this video doesn't really connect them either. It just kind of, games take too long and are bad.
Yeah,
I like the old games. I don't like new games. Yeah. Those are 3 different
and
things.
I kind of agree with you. Like, my final thoughts is basically just, this video is very unstructured and very, like, he kind of has a point, but he's not doing a good job articulating that point.
He's kind of just blaming it on passion, which is weird.
Yeah, the passion argument I don't think works. because it's too nebulous, right? I think that
Yeah,
there's a lot of like you could because I mean, you know, as Gouda mentioned in the chat, you could argue the DEI bridge stuff is related to stuff going to shit. I don't necessarily disagree, but I feel like that's just one part of the puzzle, right? I think there's like multiple things going on, and some things might matter more than others based on what trash fire we're looking at, right? So, you know, what was the other one? The Dustborn game that was kind of getting shat on at the same time Concord was getting shat on, right?
Mhm.
Like that one is very clearly a fucking, you know, maybe not DEI bridge related thing, but definitely a very like that's failed because it's so like it's like it almost feels like a parody, right, of what a 4chaner would say these progressives act like, right? But they did it unironically. And the thing is it's just most people are just not into that. Like that, they're chasing after a market that doesn't actually buy their games. It doesn't exist. It's the same with Star Wars Acolyte, right? Like the Star Wars Acolyte, it got cancelled basically, no season 2, and they're all freaking out about it because they're like, oh no, how could this happen? You're giving a win to the chuds or whatever. Yeah, those very same chuds that you told not to watch it because it wasn't for them, and so they didn't watch it, and it didn't get enough viewership or, you know, ratings for Disney to keep pumping money into it. You know,
Yeah,
like
you can't ask me, but because I think Star Wars is lame anyway.
well, it does matter for you, but like, well, I mean, like with you don't have to care. Like the Star Wars thing is irrelevant, right? It's just like if you took Star Wars out of it, right, and you just had a show that was like, you know, just because there's a lot of reasons why Acolyte's fucking stupid, but like, you know, oh, this show is not for you, chuds. Don't buy it. Okay,
I did
don't
see,
buy it.
but in that
You know?
token, I did see a thing on the Minecraft movie that is so supposedly not
Oh,
for the people who are criticizing it.
okay. Well, I guess we could switch to get before we do anime. I guess we could switch because we're pretty much done talking about the video now. We're talking about random shit, so we guess we might as well switch screens. Screen switch time. Whoosh. Yeah, Minecraft movie is a good example of this right now. Yeah, I saw that article. I think it's Kotaku put out an article. Was
no
it?
idea
Was
which from
okay.
where it came.
I can't remember which one it was, but they put out an article that was something like the Minecraft movie is for kids or some shit or whatever. And I'm like, just because it's for one, because it's for kids doesn't mean it has to be shit. And two, the Minecraft, it just looks bad. I don't know what to tell you. It just looks
Nretsew,
bad.
I have an admission to make, right? When the Minecraft trailer came out and I saw people not reacting on video or anything, I just saw people typing, "Oh, this looks bad. This looks terrible. I hope it fails." Yeah. I said, "This will succeed. It's Minecraft." But now I actually seen. And now I've seen.
I don't know. Yeah,
that was before I've seen it myself, and now I think this might fail.
Yeah. I think like because my thing with it is like, I don't. I think the part that makes it really funny for me, if you've ever seen those videos of like hyper realistic Minecraft,
a couple of times.
Yeah, there's
I've
like that one artist that made.
Before.
Yeah, there's like that one artist that does like the hyper realistic Minecraft videos, and it's like it literally looks like that, and it's like why? It's like why does it have to look? Why not make like, you know? I thought they learnt their lesson from the Sonic the Hedgehog situation, right? From those movies,
not.
where it's like, hey, maybe we should make it game accurate, maybe, or something. Like, again, there's like fan animations for Minecraft that, like, you know, the famous, you know, whatever it is, or the one, the King and the Rule the World or whatever. You know,
The Coldplay
or something, right? The
Minecraft
Coldplay thing. I saw a funny fucking meme where it was Megamind, and it's like what's his name, the hero character from Megamind. He's about to walk. He's like going so fast that time's paused. He's about to walk out of the observatory, and the caption is like, "Me about to walk out of the Minecraft movie," and then this song plays, and it's the Coldplay song. He walks back, walks right back, and Oh man,
I don't know. I said Coldplay, but it might be a different song that I had in mind.
I think it's Coldplay. I can't remember. I think it was Coldplay.
Is it?
It's Viva. It's Viva la something.
Roman
It's
Catholic choirs were singing.
Yeah, it's
Viva
because it's
Major.
based off Napoleon. It's like it's like a song about Napoleon. But yeah, but anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about Napoleon because it's about how he got exiled and he's walking the streets that he used to rule and whatnot. But now he's just a peasant. Or
I never looked into the song. I thought it was a neat song when I heard it. It was funny.
It's a neat song. It's a good song. The Minecraft parody songs are great too.
Yeah. Well, the animation.
I swear to God, there are so many ways, right? There are so many ways you could do like a really funny Minecraft movie, like make the Minecraft movie good, and one of them would be the entire soundtrack is just Minecraft remixes of songs. It'd be fucking great. Oh,
that's
man.
too funny, Nretsew, and
it'd be too funny. Yeah,
too funny.
The world is not ready for that movie. The world is not ready for that. But anyway, I'm gonna refill my cup of drink. You talk about your animus.
Yeah, I'll start talking about the animes that I watched before I went to the wrong. I almost went to the wrong screen. You would see a black screen. It's not very interesting. Here, I'll show you for a second.
That nice refilled. Oh no, it's a black screen, Ellie. Oh, well,
yeah, I did it on purpose. Don't worry. I'll talk first about Mayonaka Punch because even Nretsew hasn't.
I pour my drink and I walk away and I look around. It's a black screen. I'm like, oh shit, what have you done now?
I was a little behind the screen's look. What happens when I do anime talk?
All right, but anyway, what are the funny vampire girl YouTubers up to this time around?
There's some ever more tension going on, Nretsew. I feel there's some tension. Our girl is being called back home by mother because mother has her appendix burst.
Shit!
Something to that effect. So she's in the hospital. But so big sister is being called up to take care of younger sister. And it turns out that Nretsew, our main girl, isn't very nice. He's not a very nice person, also even to her little sister. Even though little sister wants to like big sister, and big sister wants to be nice to little sister, but it has kind of difficulty doing so. That's the overarching plot of the episode itself. In between, she's kind of on a vacation due to the aforementioned staying at her parents' place to take care of little sister. So the vampire girls are making videos themselves, or at least trying to, or avoid not doing so at all, depending who you depending on the vampire. Our main vampire is very sad that she's not at the house anymore, and expresses some emotion when her phone rings with her ringtone that she is calling. See, this kind of adds in the tension that she's not very emotionally available. Because when Liv calls, answers the phone, it's just, hey, I sent the video that you asked for, I miss you. And she's like, it's only been 2 days, I'll work on the video later.
It's only been 2 days. What do you mean?
It's been 2 days. I'll work on the video. Send it. Goodbye. You know, there's not really a emotional exchange going on here. And it's even true between her and her little sister. So there's an emotional dam, right? Emotional tension. Besides that, the vampires visit her house at some point and they do a video shoot. And it turns out that the little sister is actually a fan of the Mayonaka Punch channel and the people there.
Oh.
She denied it at
Ooh.
first. But also, kind of importantly, she's a fan of her sister. And it's important because she, of course, had that whole scandal and doesn't appear in video at all anymore.
Right.
Even though she gets now appreciation, at least from her little sister, for still being there. And it does look that she's actually not going to appear in videos again. It's still a kind of a little heartfelt moment where she's appreciated for the work she does and for who she is, even though she doesn't appear on video anymore. It looks like she is in this moment readying or is readying herself, or to be a little bit more emotionally available. Having fun with the vampire girls might not be a bad thing. It might be fun to do so.
Yeah.
So maybe next episode or the coming episodes, this emotional distance wall might get a little bit more broken through. So that's Mayonaka Punch.
Neat.
I'll do Elusive Samurai for a moment.
Yeah, Speedy Boy.
Speedy Boy has been speedy. So the super technique that our boy learned last episode was
running really fucking fast.
No, that's a technique that he already can. The technique that he uses to win Nretsew to cut, because he has problem attacking. He has terrible attacking stats. But what you can do is just let the sword fall on the enemy and then jump back. And the sword will just cut itself as you pull it back.
Fucking swords are sharp and you can just let them do the work for you.
You don't have to
plain explosion.
You don't have to go towards the enemy to cut. You can also cut as you run away. And that's kind
of you just let the blade do its thing. Yeah.
So, so this is funny. So the big guy gets cut, right? And he says, "Not a big deal. I'll just kill you before. I'll kill you, get you, and then I'll stop the bleeding. No problem." Then we cut to the fight with a guy with the big spear. As you can see, our girl has ideas what to do with the guy with the spear. In the top right.
Yeah.
Chop his head off and send the head flying miles away.
As you do.
With a very impressive home run slice. It looks very nice. Alright, so Nretsew, our guy was like, "I'll kill you and then stem the bleeding." There's a problem, Nretsew, with this plan. What if he
Speedy Boy.
What if he never hits the guy? Never hits.
Yeah.
What if with every swing of his sword, blood splashes out of his wrists?
Yeah, because Speedy Boy.
And then he just can't hit, and he loses blood with every swing that he does. And oh damn, why can't I hit him? He's too fast. I'm losing blood.
Shit.
So that happens, and maybe he still can make a comeback. Alright, back to our icy boy that identified the strongest one there, with kind of the clown face, the French flag. Turns out, Nretsew, that he is actually very strong, but he's hiding his strength.
Oh, he's hiding his power level.
Because if you're recognized as the strongest, it gets all kind of attention and problems. His idea is to be strong, stay in the background, reap all the benefits, pretend to be weak, and when he wants to, he kills the big boss, is the leader, and everybody sees he's actually strong and is the leader, and nobody can challenge him. Only problem, our ice boy can see he's kind of sloppy, actually. He has a nice technique where he swings his sword, and it's unclear if he's going to do like a low blow or a low or a mid swing. You can't tell, so you can't defend against it. Problem is, he's a little bit too sloppy. Our boy can tell.
Right.
So his neck gets sliced for the trouble.
Oof.
Like, hey, you have a secret. I want to learn your secret. Oh, your secret sucks. All right. Enough of you. Dead.
Yeah.
Back to our general guy. The boy can run. If the people
speedy.
If the people at home hasn't seen it, you know the effect of a carousel. You spin a carousel really fast, and if a puppet or a images have a kind of a running cycle, if you spin that running cycle fast enough, every frame you'll see the same running animation like 10 times, as many puppets as there are on the carousel. That's what our boy does. He runs around so fast. His after images are all him running in place, which is a super cool scene. The whole scene is very cool in a moment. All the while, he swings his sword. Our prince just jumps around, laughing, having fun.
He's having the time of his life.
The best time.
Jumping
and
around.
He says,
because I did see this. I did see like the clip of this on Twitter last week, and it was like, yeah, look at him, let him go. He's running. Yeah, he's being speedy boy.
So he's going. Has lost too much blood. He's going to die. So now it's a small flashback moment. To summarize it, Nretsew, he was a third son or something, and he didn't get any land he wouldn't get any land as his inheritance. That sucks. So he became a bandit and just stole people from other people. Then he thought, I actually do want some land, so he joined an army, and if he won, he would get some land. Unfortunately, Nretsew, he was on the losing side, so even if he would be recognized for his super combat skills, his side lost, so there was no recognition to be gained. So he kind of just like, this world sucks. This world is a hell, and I'll make it a hell for everybody else. But Nretsew, our boy is laughing. Our pure boy is having fun. He's laughing in the hell that I live in. Nretsew.
How can this be?
He is my god, my Buddha, and he sees God. He basically converts on the spot. Seeing our prince boy.
Oh man.
So when bugged-eyed archer comes in with reinforcements, and he's immediately driven away by reinforcements from the main temple, and he sees with his stupid eyes that there's a battle indoors because of all the blood on the inside of the wall. He rescues our bandit king, and he says, I'll give you some land. You won't be a bandit. And our bandit guy goes, yes. Like all wholesomely and holy, without a threat of contempt or grudge. Yes, my lord. And there's a neat history, a neat bit of history that in this time period, these roaming bandits kind of ceased existing. These shoguns control became more gained more control over their lands and didn't allow these bandits to roam around it anymore, and instead made them soldiers, incorporate them, or just kill them. Point is, this guy doesn't exist anymore really in this time. From this point in this time period, he started these people like him stopped existing. So it will be interesting how this enemy that converted on the spot on seeing our boy laugh is now supposedly an underling of our main antagonist in this scene, right? In this area, because the main antagonist.
I wonder how that's gonna play out. Yeah.
Is he not going to fight? Is he going to fight super honorably? Like, what's going on there? So that's kind of interesting. Nretsew, talk about the VTubers.
VTubers, it's VTuber time. You want to have sex? Okay, let's get ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about the first gag first, right? So, in this episode, we've got two funnies. We have skit show gags where they're in a contest, and whoever has the most memorable and funny gag gets a bunch of money. Yay! So the two teams. So we've got the three teams of the girls. You've got the the lewd demon girl and our
semi-lewd
heroine, semi-lewd. They do a skit that's all about they're at the convenience store, but the convenience store is run by a pawn shop. Is run by the pawn shop. So it's all lewd innuendos and funny little gags about buying certain things. It's quite good. It's quite funny. I think one of the other ones was apology stream / talk, and the baby girl is apologizing for trying to get into the kindergarten. Be a baby in the kindergarten. It is like, I will not apologize.
The last one, the other one was like kind of a demon king versus hero. And...
demon king, and the knight, the one playing the knight is like, I killed the princess, and the demon king's like, what? Yes, I ran my sword through the princess. But your sacrifice will allow me to defeat you. And it's like, what the fuck? Oh man. So that was pretty good. I think it was a pretty funny skit, but I think it gets overshadowed by what comes after, which is the other two images. So our animal loving funny haha animal penis random trivia girl elf, right? Loses a punishment stream thing where she had to answer questions about animals, and if she couldn't answer the question, she had to do a punishment stream. And I think the funny thing is the way that she lost was someone asked what her weight was, and it counted because she's technically an animal. So she had to answer the question, but she couldn't answer the question. So now she has to do a punishment game. And the punishment game, Ellie, is she has to play a horror game. She has to play the horror game.
Yeah,
and it's
the
I don't know what it's
Oni,
called.
Famous one. Classic.
Yeah, the blue Oni one, or the purple Oni, or whatever. With the
blue.
Yeah. And it's actually the game too, which is quite cool. Where they're actually playing the actual game, and it's funny. So luckily for our elf girl, our protagonist is more than happy, right? More than happy to lend a hand, right? And come on the stream. but is constantly asking for sex. Want to have sex? You want to have sex?
The joke here is that the blue Oni who runs at you through the entire game is asking the player or the protagonist, to have
Want to
sex.
have sex? Want to have sex?
The person, the scary thing that comes running to you is asking to have sex with you.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of really good faces, and like one of them is in the thing, but there's like enough, like our main character just has that face for most of the skits. Great. However, so as she's our elf girl is absolutely terrified of the horror game. She's petrified, Ellie. She's super scared. Oh no, how? Oh no, I'm screaming on stream. Oh no, it's so bad. However, suddenly she has her moment, Ellie. We get to see what the true, just as our main girl ends up being a drunk, and some of the other girls all have their things. One wants to be a baby, one wants to be a mommy, right? So and so. It turns out that our elf girl is a Yakuza boss.
Is angry.
Anger management. She gets backed into the corner by the monster and she goes full rage mode.
This is breaking her character.
Completely breaking her character and going full Yakuza boss. What's the term that they use? I can't remember.
Yankee? No.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, full Yakuza Dom. Don or whatever, the Don of the house or whatever, full on Yakuza. I'm going to stab you. I'm going to stab you and murder you and kill you, and all of this stuff. And so she starts freaking out because she's like, "No, my character, no." And our main girl has to be like, "It's okay. I kept I still do the pure streams. It's okay. You don't have to worry about it." No. No. And so she just keeps freaking out. And they end up finishing the horror game. And there's some good skits in there where she freaks. She starts really scared, and then when she gets caught, she gets really angry. It's almost like a funny fight or flight. It's like she's having fight responses, right, to being scared. It's very like it's hard to describe, like talking about it. But if you watch it, it's so fucking funny. It's actually really fucking funny. And then after the stream, she's like, "Oh, that was great." And then our main girl is like, "Hey, look at DM." And it's oh, she's trending. She's trending, and she's like, "No, everyone knows my secret. Oh no."
I can be scary. I can be mean. I can be demanding.
Yeah. Oh no. So So that's good. It's good. It's very funny. Very very. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Show's just as I think the show's been keeping a consistent level of quality. I do think that personally the first half wasn't so great. Like the skits were kind of funny, right? But I do feel like it was a bit
two-staged.
Yeah, a little bit two-stage, a little bit too. Yeah. But this was a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Her freaking out over the horror, and it because of also how they like show it in the animations as well. Like they incorporate like the gameplay footage into it, and they have her freaking out. There's like one shot where she you have she turns into the Yakuza Dom, and our main heroine is making fun of her and being like, yes, sir, we will kill all the enemies.
Yeah, you convinced me that this is actually adapted from a manga, from how chapter-like the two sections are.
Yeah, it's very like you have like these isolated kind of skits almost, right? Like there's a little bit of a timeline to it, but it's mostly like you get like 2 skits an episode basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 events. 2 events happen per episode, right? But I think it's good. I think it's neat. I think it's quite fun. It's a fun show. But anyway, I think that's the only show I have to talk about because Oshi didn't air this week, despite me worrying that I might have missed an episode of Oshi.
Nretsew came in from Ellie. I didn't see Oshinoko.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't see Oshi this week. Sorry, I was busy. And then you're like, but there wasn't any Oshi. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? What do you mean there wasn't any Oshi? It was quite good. But yeah, so I guess you've got your Spitfire.
No, I have my losing heroines.
Oh yeah, you do have your losing heroine. Yeah, I've seen some clips. I really do need to fucking catch up on losing heroines. It seems like it would be right up my fucking alley.
It's
right?
It's fun.
But I just have not had fucking time the last few weeks. So maybe I might have to make a point to, when I'm not watching Tenma play fucking Wukong, I have to make a point to actually sit down and watch heroines.
I may suffer the same fate. I was at my niece for 6 hours today as a family visit and whatnot. I recommended her like 5 shows. She recommended me like 12 shows. I will watch like a couple of them, 3 or so, just to see.
Yeah. So what happened in Heroines this week, Ellie? Give us the rundown.
This is kind of the new year, with new outfits. I believe it's maybe just a summer thing, or maybe it's like their for a second
change of season, new uniform.
But this does mean that the third years are now preparing for their exams and whatnot. So the older characters are now kind of moving out of the picture. That means that Komori, the shy and stuttering girl, is now kind of president of the literature club. She now has responsibilities, and there's kind of also kind of a finality of they are gone, I am now in charge, they put me in charge, they are now leaving kind of deal. So, and to kind of assure them and to send them off, she's kind of doing this kind of whole big project at the school festival thing. Taking on slightly more than she can handle, but our boy is there to help out. And you could convince me there's a romance between these two instead of our hungry, all-consuming blue-haired girl. Also, she's actually very stupid and only thinks of food even more. So Nretsew, they have this plan, right? She's in the club and she wants to do stuff, but she's stupid and doesn't know what she's doing. We're going to make her a consultant.
Oh.
They're like, all right, we have our plan, right? And we have a plan to do things, and you're very important. We're going to make you a consultant. A very important role. A role that only you can do. First thing she is, all right, and we're going to make it about food a bit. Aren't you happy? We're going to have some summaries and explanation on how these food items relate to the books. And she goes, hey, no. Where's the actual food? I want the actual food.
Where's the food? Where's the food?
And it's like,
I was promised substance. Where is my substance?
And he goes like, you're past the deadline for applying to be a restaurant of some kind. And she goes, that's your problem. I'm the consultant. You it's your job to do the thing I consult you on. Very, very good character. Absolutely amazing. Also, our zombie girl is also one of the characters that are leaving. She's also third year. So, they figure out a way to satisfy the consultant in a very important task. But there's another problem. This club doesn't have a teacher. No, from your animes, every club has to have a kind of a supervising teacher.
Yes.
But the literature club doesn't have a supervising teacher. So they have a homeroom teacher that they kind of all know. So our girl and our sporty girl come up together to the teacher in a kind of not abandoned, out of the way storage room. And Nretsew, what was the last time our teacher saw our boy and girl in the storage room?
Quite a while ago, maybe.
What were they assume? What did they apparently were doing in that storage room?
Who know?
Hugging
Who
naked.
Knows ooh.
And I might the response of the teacher at that moment that caught them in a in the at least her in a half naked position for all us hugging our boy was, "I'll come back later."
As you do.
So
As you do.
when she sees the two of them in a out of the way storage room, she goes, "Hey, you, do that at home." And then when they say, no, it's not about that, we are asking for advice, she goes, "Oh, go to the go to the school nurse. She knows what to do.
Yeah.
She knows this stuff. Go to the school nurse for your advice, for your questions, what to do." And then no, we want a homeroom teacher. Oh, all right, I'll handle this. And she gets the school nurse to be the supervising teacher of the literature club. The school nurse who places microphones hidden away in rooms to spy. Maybe even cameras.
Oh boy.
So
So fun times ahead, I think. Fun times ahead, I think.
So, after a little heartfelt moment with Komari and our boy, it's time to deliver the revised proposal for what the literature club will do to the student council. And our zombie girl was the president, or at least a member of the student council. But she's leaving, and there's a new student council in charge. And while the zombie girl, was very lax, this new student president is promising to no longer be lazy, and
there will be no laziness.
And one of the things that were kind of iffy that might have been overlooked is the porn collection of BL in the literature club.
Oh no!
So the literature club has been
They can't do this. They can't take our BL away from us. No.
So there are new characters incoming. A spying teacher actively involved with the literature club. A new student council. And also maybe, I don't know if the anime will get there, but maybe characters are leaving also. A fun thing, Nretsew, one of the student council members' actual name is Tiara. And I learned this some kind of recently. Tiara is called a Kira name. It's a name which is it has the funny Japanese aspect of Nretsew, you want to have your name, you want your child named Tiara. What you do is take just kanji for glittering crown on head and give it the most obscure reading ever to make it Tiara.
Right.
Pick obscure kanji, pick obscure pronunciations, so your child name can be a fancy name. That's also kind of how you get Aqua and Ruby. Those are known in Japan as Kira names. Glittering, sparkly, overbearing names
Mm.
that overbearing parents give to children because they want to have a fancy name for the kids.
Right.
I mean, Elon's kid, X, whatever, is a Kira name. The dumbest pronunciation of a dumb name possible for their own satisfaction, not for the health of the child.
Right.
So that's the Losing Hermits, and then it's with no Oshinoko, it's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it's rapid fire time.
There was no Bakemonogatari episode.
Yeah, no, none of that. So don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, Pseudo Harem continues on. Slow development while the relationship slowly continues. He visits her house. They're doing gift stuff. She at her own school is kind of working on being a girlfriend, also in relation to her other friends. Telling a conversation, and while he does kind of the same, he has kind of a girlfriend. His friends doesn't have a girlfriend. They are jealous of him. Our girl has girlfriends. They are kind of jealous of her, and follows. They're not having as much skits together as there are different ages in different schools, but they also still come together. It's like there's a little bit more jokes around outside of the core joke of her having kind of different personalities.
Right.
But still also kind of collapsing those personalities together. They are relying less on the personalities and more on the general, actual appreciation of their actual characters.
You guys actually like each other.
Yeah. While playing a little bit more with personalities to others for fun.
Right.
So that's Pseudo Harem, no Bakemonogatari. Nretsew, last episode, our girl was kidnapped.
Oh yes, I think I remember you saying that. Yeah. Oh no.
So our boy gets a text from her, which is a hint to where she is, and to cut things short, she was there, and she kind of lives up to her reputation of remembering grudges. She's like she's kidnapped by a bunch of delinquent girls because she was the one who told the police on their little drug dealing thing.
Ooh, oh no.
And the reason why they got, or at least the ringleader, was put on probation and all that stuff. So revenge, she got kidnapped and she got beaten up a bunch, and she just kind of recounts every punch that she got. It says, and she ends with, "Well, that's fine, but you threatened me with a knife, and if you do something with a knife, that will leave a mark. And every time I will see that mark every day. And when I see that mark every day, I will think of you every day. And I will never forget you." And this little nice she's not really quick to forgive. Recounting every punch and who did it and where it was and where you aimed and where it actually landed. And now she's saying she'll never forget what you did to her. Well, I have no doubt she means it. She saw our protagonists be there at the place she was held captive. So she knew help was coming. She said that to, buy a little bit more time to stop them from actually hurting her and etc. Didn't really work out. Our protagonist had to jump in and do a big fist fight. And the police... The police did, or they called the police in advance when they knew she was there and all that stuff. And apparently they had a big fist fight, which wasn't shown. And just for a side note, they really like symbolism in showing kind of more the emotion of searching for somebody than actually him showing him running through the streets. The imagery is of a riverbank, and just kind of shows him running alongside the riverbank, and she is standing on a little island in the river, slow moving river, bound with her hands and blindfolded, and them just missing each other, or opposite sides of the road kind of deal. A symbolism of them finding each other or missing each other. They've kind of done this the entire show. I mentioned a couple of times that they've shown they are not actually at that place, but mind space. Episode ends though with a question. Hey, you knew you were going to be kidnapped, right? That's a kind of intriguing thing. Still, also they all got arrested. All the girls got arrested in the cops, which kind of you don't really see that often. Police getting involved. And somebody
tends to be something that's even not directly shown, or it's not really.
It's part of it's really all the drama that happens on a very small scale affects immediately the entire world. There's no mediating forces between you and the state of the world, which is no, I won't get into it. Sekai-kei.
What does this say about society?
Yeah, Sekai-kei, Evangelion, and that girl that became a big weapon show kind of deal. Similar kind of thing. That's not important. Lastly, dungeon people. First episode: how to make actual dungeon. If the floor is not received very well, they make a new floor. They delve a little bit into the mechanics. Second that was the episode I missed last week. The other episode was, hey, we have a kind of an agreement with the king. As long as I won a battle with you, and if I do so, you can't mess with me. But there's a new king.
No!
So the new king can challenge me, can challenge our administrator girl, and if she wins, all is fine. If she loses, the dungeon belongs to the king. And there's kind of a moral lesson of if you're dealing with a powerful person, Nretsew, with a king or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't pretend to have a almost even fight. Just beat them completely.
Beat the ever-living shit out of them, yeah.
So they won't challenge you. So then don't don't pretend to be a close fight. Don't make it a close fight at all. Beat them.
Just fucking wreck this shit.
Wreck their shit. Don't let the powerful question your power. They will snake their way out of a agreement that way. Oh well, it was almost there, and if I did that, I would have won. Therefore, it's fair if I actually get a small part of the dungeon, or that kind of deal. So just beat them outright. So she does. In doing so, the prince gets a crush on our protagonist girl.
Oh boy!
So that might get somewhere.
Alright.
Yeah, that was all the animes.
Yeah, we're pretty short ep this week.
No, we got 3 hours. That's our kind of quote to me.
Yeah, 3 hours is pretty good. I mean, we did a pretty long one last week when we covered Moon Man.
Yeah.
the Moon Man. Oh man, that video was so fucking bad.
Yeah, for everybody still around, and a surprise for Nretsew, no episode next week. At least at a regular time. I am on an island once again.
Yeah, you're going back to the island. Yeah. So no, yeah. So I mean, it might be good to maybe take a break anyway.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a solo stream any time in between. So yeah, might be good to take a break.
On that point,
we got clips coming out anyway. So
yeah, and if I absolutely have to, I can schedule one during the time we actually would normally stream, I guess.
Yeah, because my schedule's been changing around. So yeah,
I won't do it. It's a little bit too much fanciness. No, just to mention, I might be interested in streaming the Zelda game. If people want to see me play the Zelda game, I'm up for it.
And I'm very much into doing GFL 2 when that drops. I definitely want to do that.
Also, because I forgot to mention it, right? For video game stuff, it's likely that the PlayStation Pro is being announced like in the coming week.
Soon-ish.
In the next week.
Soon-ish is what I've been hearing, yeah.
Also, Nretsew, the Switch 2 is very likely to be announced next week.
Yeah, soon-ish, yeah.
Oh, Samuel, it's the new Zelda game. What was it again? Wisdom? Wand of Wisdom? Damn. It's the Zelda game.
The Zelda game, yeah. The one with Zelda.
Yeah.
the one with Zelda, yeah.
Echoes of Wisdom. Yeah, Echoes of Wisdom. The one that looks like the Link's Awakening remake. If it works out, I'll stream that game. I might not be able to resist and play the game for myself at times.
Yeah,
it's not comfortable.
We'll see what happens. See what happens.
Just as a kind of emergency notice for everybody. I have work. I have work. Likely, I won't be able to stream the moment the Switch 2 will be announced at some point. Just a warning for that. I just wanted people to know this kind of almost 100% confirmed thing of Switch 2 announcement is imminent. There's been like so many reports of it being in production right now. There's history of it being announced before Tokyo Game Show. Tokyo Game Show is in less than 2 weeks.
Been leaks and stuff, yeah. There's been leaks and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens.
There's been leaks. There's been history of Nintendo does on what Nintendo does before this date and on that date. You know, repeatable, predictable things that Nintendo does, which leads to the conclusion next week or the week after.
All right then. It's been a good time.
Yeah, with that video game warning more than an announcement.
A video game threat. Video game threat. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So,
also,
I guess we'll see us when we see us.
Yeah, final video game threat. Xbox is absolutely dying. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't
We
bother.
know, Ellie. We know.
What will you say when it actually happens, Nretsew?
Okay, but anyway, we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah, later.
Later. Bye.